It's a glorious day on the banks of the Thames River for one of Division III's top football rivalries. The Merchant Marine Academy and the Coast Guard Academy play for the annual Secretary's Cup. And let's take a look at some of the pageantry before the game. From New London, Connecticut, two proud service academies close out the 2019 season. The Mariners of the United States Merchant Marine Academy square off against the Bears of the United States Coast Guard Academy. We welcome you here to Cadet Memorial Field in New London. Robert Lee and three-time Super Bowl champ and former New England Patriot Matt Chatham with you. Beautiful football weather here in mid-November. Matt, this game may not have the notoriety of the Army-Navy game, but for these kids who are going on to serve their country, the stakes are just as high.
They are. A very important day. This is essentially their championship. The season will ebb and flow, but it always comes down to the Secretary's Cup. We've got a gorgeous environment back here behind us. Small college football, big-time important game.
Merchant Marine having a good season, trying to break a one-year losing streak. Coast Guard won the game last year. Merchant Marine 5-3. They run a relentless triple option offense behind quarterback Christian Abbott.
Yeah, Christian Abbott, what a fun offense to watch. How often do you come into a game where an offense is averaging over 300 yards a game on the ground, nearly 40 points a game? Christian Abbott, he really runs the show here. A lot of the action will happen between the tackles, but they can absolutely put it up. And they're throwing the football a little bit this year as well, Robert.
Coast Guard comes into the game 5-4 on the season. Their longtime head coach Bill George announced that this will be his last game, and senior quarterback Ryan Jones is trying to send him out a winner.
Thrill a minute, Robert. We know this from last year's games. Ryan has a great time out there. He can make plays, through 3 touchdowns in the Secretary's Cup win a year ago. We'll occasionally have some issues with turnovers, but ball possession, such a huge focal point for this week's game, especially with the kind of defense that Coast Guard is capable of playing.
Coast Guard looks to make it back-to-back wins in the series for the first time in over 20 years. It's the Merchant Marine Academy and the Coast Guard Academy playing for the Secretary's Cup. We're back with the opening kickoff after this. The cadets for both schools are fired up. Merchant Marine set to take on arch rival Coast Guard here on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. Robert Lee, Matt Chatham with you from New London, Connecticut. Merchant Marine won the toss. They deferred to the second half. Merchant Marine's in the white jerseys. Coast Guard is in the red. Gavin Gartner will kick it away for Merchant Marine, and it'll be taken on the run by Jacob Wagner, and he stumbles forward to the 20-yard line for Coast Guard. Coast Guard is led by senior quarterback, 6 foot, 210-pound Ryan Jones from Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. He'll see his shadow here today, and he'll look to lead the Bears to a second straight win in this series.
That was nice, Robert. You're in the role here. Let's do this. Yeah, Brian is an exciting player. We had a lot of fun watching him a year ago. Just needs to stay on top of his decision-making, but he can make some things happen. Ball possession, again, Coach George's big emphasis point for the day. Move the ball down the field. Don't give it to the other side.
He'll go out of the shotgun and pitch it for John Wagner, who cuts up the middle of the field. John Wagner has a first down out past the 30.
Really great cutback there by Wagner. Got the flow moving, tight side, and then cuts it right back behind the center. Very efficient drive start there for the Bears.
No huddle offense here for Coast Guard, a team that comes in averaging just 19 points a game and about 276 yards of offense, which is second least in the new MAC, which is the conference both these schools play in football. Coast Guard on the season 2-4 in new MAC play. Jones, option right, keeps himself up the middle for a positive gain to the 35-yard line.
It was interesting talking to both of these staffs, and they kind of migrated back to the same idea that a lot of the action in this game is going to happen between the tackles. Defensively, pressure for both sides. Offensively, needing again to possess it and move the ball down the field, often inside the hashes here.
Jones is a running threat. As you saw on the stat page, 11 touchdowns, 11 interceptions this year, 10 touchdowns. For his career, he has 25 touchdowns and 37 interceptions. So he's a player that makes things happen, both good and bad. He'll drop back for his first pass attempt of the game. Wide open, Justin Moffitt has it at the 35. Moffitt in a foot race, he'll take it to the house for a Coast Guard touchdown. Coast Guard's on the board.
It is windy today here, Robert, but what an exceptional ball here early by Ryan Jones. Post pattern down the middle of the field. Moffitt outrunning everyone and off to the races early to get this thing going. I wondered how much they'd be able to press the ball down the field with the wind factor, but Jones answers that question definitively early.
Big play to start the game. Patrick Crowley's extra point is up and good. And the home team, the Coast Guard Bears, take an immediate 7-0 lead.
We're off and we're doing push-ups. It's that time of day. Nice job here by Jones. They lead with 2 running plays off the bat, but just sets back foot hits. Moffitt's off and going. Moffitt's one of the best athletes you'll find at this level. Big-time player, has some ability to potentially play at maybe an FCS school, but he wanted to be a Service Academy kid. He's out here early, showing that big play flash. Could be his final game. Really, really cool opportunity for this young man to get things out on the right foot for the Bears.
Moffitt comes into the game leading the league with 61 catches. Also third in the league with 723 yards, about 80 a game, and he's almost to that total right away.
And I shouldn't have said last game, Moffitt's a junior. He'll still have another year to do this stuff, but he's a big-time threat. Obviously, the Mariners were very aware of the kind of player he could be, and giving up big plays defensively had been a problem for the Mariners this year. Huge focal point throughout the practice week. Got to get that cut down, and what happens on the 3rd snap of the game? They give up a big one to Moffitt right off the bat. It's obviously something they'll be talking about on the sideline defensively. They've got to nip that in the bud.
To the delight of longtime head coach Bill George, who you saw on your screen there. 21st season, winningest coach in school history. Today is his final game as he is retiring after the season. To kick it away, Patrick Crowley. And a short kick taken by an up back at the 24. And a big collision out past the 30 and spun forward at the 35-yard line, where Merchant Marine will bring their triple option attack.
We've now seen both kickoff units do this sort of oddball pop kick, and it's tough because there is some wind here. We're down on the water. This is a really cool environment for a football game to take place, but you get a little of that. Well, it's not ocean effect, it's not lake effect. River effect, is that a thing? I don't know, but you've seen the ball handling become an issue already off the bat. So going to be some games to be played here in the special teams.
Christian Abbott, a senior, 5'10", 175 from Lansing, Kansas. Really struggled in this game last year. He'll run the triple option. He'll pitch it. It's on the ground, and it is recovered by Merchant Marine at the 35. Could not handle the pitch. Tyler Reese.
Well, I thought Abbott's decision was pretty spot on there to hold that to the last minute, force the slow play by the defense, pitch it at the right moment, puts a nice ball on him, didn't secure it. That could be a problem. Again, all these guys are talking about is ball possession early. We got the ball already on the ground.
Perhaps a little bit of nerves early. Dangerous pitch is handled by Restifo. He fights his way forward out past the 40 to the 45-yard line, a yard short of a first down. Restifo averaging 8 yards a carry, a junior from Hudson, Ohio.
My point of reference in college is playing North Dakota State. That was a Veer team. They love this triple option stuff as well. You won't see a pitch player get up the field as well as you just saw there by Coast Guard. I don't know how Abbott got that pitch past him. You said dangerous pitch. He almost threw it through his armhole. That was really bizarre, really late on that, but was able to get it off.
Abbott keeps for a first down, just short of midfield. And ball control is what this Merchant Marine offense thrives on.
And that was a really goofy configuration there by Coast Guard initially. I thought they could have snuck that for a yard. They're a little lighter up front. They've had a lot of attrition on the defensive line. 7 players at some point have been lost from that front group. And you're a little light over there at center. So it's a testable thing if they just want to plow forward.
Abbott switching direction for no gain. His coach, Mike Toop, said he has thrown the ball better this year. It's not a passing offense by any means. He's only attempted 98 passes in 8 games, but he's completing 62% of them. And when they do hit, they complete for about 19 yards of completion.
They lure you up. They lure you back into the box. They get the safeties now down nice and low, and we're on 100 attempt watch.
Yes.
2 passes in here, we're going to get that. Here's one.
Here's attempt number 99. It is caught by their top receiver, Joe Vitelli, who dives forward to the 42, about a yard short of a first down. Vitelli Talk about big plays. He's only got 37 catches this year. He's averaging 21 yards a catch for over 770 yards.
Every play is a punt return with Joe. He is an exciting player, fun to watch. Had a blast watching him a year ago. Big-time player for them, but he's been a little banged up. Had the shoulder. We didn't know if we were going to see him in some of the return game.
3rd and a yard. It's Abbott keeping for the first down, picking his way forward to the 35-yard line, a gain of 7.
This was really going to be one of the big challenges for this Coast Guard defense. They've been pretty stout throughout the year. They had a really bad week a week ago against WPI, but they've got some really young players across that defensive front, and what do you really need to be good at against a triple option team? It's winning a lot of those gaps in front in the defensive line. So they go into this knowing that's going to be a challenge, and the Mariners have been pretty efficient thus far.
Here's pass attempt number 100 this season. It'll be a throw into the flat, dangerous, incomplete. Broken up by Mark Wick, the strong safety.
Really nice job there defensively by the Bears of pulling up the dash. This play was meant to sort of get outside, get the quarterback outside the pocket, but he had to pull up and plant to throw that ball, and it was a little bit of a late read. You mentioned, Robert, dangerous is right. Quarterback was right on top of that play. Could have easily gone the other direction. They got away with one there.
As Matt touched on in the open, this is a team that averages 320 rushing yards a game. Abbott in the open field. Abbott breaking tackles and brought down to the 23-yard line for a Merchant Marine first down. That 320 yards is second in the conference. It's also second nationally, only behind conference member Springfield.
What I like here about Abbott is his toughness. I mean, obviously, if you're going to be a triple option quarterback, you're a running back. You're a big part of this. You're going to take hits. You got to be a really tough kid. You got to be able to make those difficult decisions about, man, I'm going to take a shot here, but we need the conversion. Nice job there by Abbott.
And it's early on the fullback dive to the 19-yard line.
You know they're going to go to that, Robert. If you watch this defensive line configuration, they're a little light over center. They're outside the gaps. I mean, half this could just be Abbott goosing them and getting 2 or 3 yards until you goad them into coming down and tighten things up there. If you're going to leave that open, you know, Mike linebacker's getting a free sprint to him right with the quarterback.
Play action. Abbott looking over the middle, tipped and incomplete. Intended for Vitelli. Tipped away by the middle linebacker and their top defensive player, Eugene Bitzer.
No surprise that Bitzer gets involved early. He's all over the place. Really great range, really fast guy for his position. Gets a hand on the ball. He's been a tackling machine, but he's a playmaker as well. Had some interceptions, forced fumbles, fumble recoveries of his own. He's going to be all over the place. Merchant, in those moments where they attempt to pass it, they got to watch out for Bitzer.
He leads the new MAC with 94 tackles coming into the game. It's another pass attempt for Abbott. The throw into the flat. Nice ball and a first down inside the 10. Pushed backwards outside the 10, but enough to move the sticks. Catch is made by Matt Restifo.
Now this was a much, much better executed dash play. This is to the quarterback's left. It's not pulled up by the defense, so he's able to get outside the tackle box. Gets that little extra space he needs. He's a right-handed guy, so he's got to turn and set, but throws it dime. That difference in that play from the one we saw when they attempted that earlier was the right defensive end didn't get the dash pass pulled up.
First and goal from the 10, and it's a handoff for Early. He'll pull his way into the end zone for a Merchant Marine touchdown. 5th touchdown run of the season, and it's 7-6.
Well, it's a Secretary's Cup, baby, and it's exciting earlier for Early. Gets downhill here. Tough player, fullback for them. Very important play. He's at the apex of a lot of the things they do. Sometimes as a blocker, sometimes as a ball carrier. Got downhill, got in there early to tie this ball game back up.
Gavin Gartner on for the extra point, which is up. And good. Both teams score on their first possession here early in the first quarter. We are tied at 7. The Secretary's Cup off to a good start. Both coaches' teams start their game with a touchdown. On the left, Mike Toop, 15th year head coach, a Merchant Marine grad, class of 77, 10-4 all-time against Coast Guard. And on the right, Bill George in his 21st and final season at Coast Guard. He is retiring after this game. He's the winningest coach in school history. Played at Ithaca College, was a 4-year starter at center, won the national title at Ithaca for the Bombers back in '79. He was an All-American, and at 62 years old, decided that this will be his final game as head coach of Coast Guard. And a lot of mutual respect between those two coaches.
Yeah, Robert, I think that was probably the most obvious thing when Coach Toop just kept going on and on about sort of an understanding. I think that both of these coaches have of the difficulty in their particular positions relative to all other coaches really across the country in college football. They have a difficult task. It's a difficult life. A lot of respect between the two of these men.
Coletti running left. And submarined out past the 25. Coach Toop thought so much of Coach George that he actually presented him with a plaque that he had made up before the game. You get a picture out of there, and in a really kind of humble move, Coach Toop put a picture of Coach George's team picture on their field when they won this game last year as the picture on the plaque.
And in fairness, could be completely tactical. I'm joking here, but I love how they respect the heck out of one another. It was an awesome gesture. Maybe a little distraction here in pregame as well. We'll see how this goes. They obviously both want to kick each other's butt, but when this is over, the respect is off the charts.
A run right for John Wagner for a short gain. Coach Toop said, I don't need them having any more incentive in this game than they already have to go out and win one for their coach in his last game.
Right, exactly. Maybe I can get his attention for just a series or two. There you go.
It's a gain of a yard for Wagner, their leading rusher. Over 430 yards this season, 5 touchdowns. Coast Guard scored on its first drive, a 3-play drive that ended with a long 65-yard touchdown to Justin Moffitt. Jones runs the option right, has a hole, turns upfield 35 and has a first down out to the 38-yard line.
Really like this play design here, Robert. They're trips to one side, isolated to the other side, and what do? They run weak, right? So you get all the attention to the other side of the field where all the other eligible receivers are, and then you got a quarterback and get out and move, fakes the pitch, and there just aren't as many humans towards the river. Good play design there, great execution.
They set up and get the play in from the sideline, which they've done several times. Those trips to the left of the formation again.
Interestingly enough, though, to the trips, now at the open side, you got an extra body up there. If they want to come back, now mathematically you may be short.
Jones facing the blitz, steps up in the pocket, spins around, flags are down, and he is sacked at the 33-yard line. He's saying it's a face mask. Could be in the area of holding as well.
Personal foul, face mask. Defense number 42. 15-yard penalty for the previous spot. Automatic, first down.
Alex Perella, our official today, our head referee. Reno Dubriel.
Well, they had him dead to rights here, so it's unfortunate that the Mariners end up with the flag. Nice bull rush there over the fullback. They got him. Just can't grab the mask. Now you've given back a swath of land here after having a pretty nice stop. So now it's a reset, plus 50 territory. They cross midfield. This is real high alert for the big play stuff.
Fresh set of downs from the 47 of Merchant Marine. Jones, short drop, throws wide open Moffitt, and slips down after a gain of about 3. Moffitt, a junior from Odessa, Florida, was a first-team All-New Max selection last year, had 71 receptions a season ago, which was a school record, and had a huge game against Merchant Marine, 10 catches for 102 yards and a touchdown in that 26-12 victory. Putting up big numbers this season, and he's very likely to be the school's all-time leading receiver in terms of yards. He's only about 200 yards behind the all-time leader. He is just a junior. Jones keeps and stumbles forward to the 43.
Well, we made note of the wind situation earlier in the game, and it's still whipping. We saw the kickoffs the other direction travel a little bit better. In the event that you're going to attempt a field goal, I think you got to be well inside the 30-yard line here. So you're looking at least another conversion before that comes into play. 3rd and 6 here.
Shotgun snap again. Jones stands in, throws the slant. Almost a terrific catch, but it was behind the intended receiver. which was Luke Arsenault. He almost brought it in. Instead, Coast Guard will be forced to punt.
Yeah, I was going to say that's actually a really tremendous effort by Luke of even getting a hand on this ball. He's cutting underneath the other route. That thing is 1.5 yards behind him, yet he slows up enough to get his tips on it. But the contact from the defensive back shook that thing loose.
Liam Middleton, a senior from Dover, New Hampshire, to punt it away from his own 42. Back at the 10-yard line is Matt Strong to receive for Merchant Marine. Booming punt. It's going to go over Strong's head, and it'll be downed inside the 5-yard line by Coast Guard. Excellent job getting down there and stopping it at the 2-yard line, where Merchant Marine will take over on offense. 6:05 left to go first quarter. We are tied at 7 here on the banks of the Thames River in beautiful New London, Connecticut. College football is played at all levels, from FCS to FBS. Here at Division III, Merchant Marine and Coast Guard for the Secretary's Cup. Merchant Marine in the white jerseys, 1st and 10. Fumble the ball, loose on the ground inside the 5-yard line. It's out past around the 8. This would be a huge turnover if Coast Guard's got it, as Abbott fumbled the snap. Now Merchant Marine saying they have it.
And Coast Guard as well. That's what you do. You say, I got it, you point. I was watching Eugene Bitzer there at the Mike linebacker. The thing shot forward almost at his feet. I was thinking he was going to take a run through and make a big hit, and then the ball was out. So all that conversation about ball possession looks like the Mariners maintain.
It'll end up actually being about a 6-yard gain on the play.
Yeah, hit by his own guard.
Yeah, the right guard ended up knocking the ball out of the quarterback's hand, and it did jet forward amongst a pile of players. It's a 6-yard gain on the play. It'll set up 2nd down from deep in Merchant Marine territory. That's a dive up the middle for Kiernan.
Yeah, it's a forced fumble stat you don't want as a guard. Offensive linemen, they don't get stats. That's one you don't want.
You were a former special team standout. You really appreciated that punt by Coast Guard a moment ago.
Drove it really well into the wind, and that's the kind of ball that usually sort of teeters forward, but they were able to stick it like a Titleist.
Tough run over the left side for Alec Kiernan for a 1st down to the 15.
How good is it, Robert, to be able to have this kind of offense backed up? You fumble it forward with 6 yards, and then you're just plowing forward 2 in a row here. Again, if you'll watch a lot of the action here, folks, right over center. Both of your 2 defensive tackles. Bitzer is a great middle linebacker, but everything is back in their lap, play after play after play. They're really taking advantage of the advantage they think they have guard to guard on the inside.
The left tackle, Gavin Smith, is hurt, number 75, sophomore from Hinsdale, Illinois, being tended to by the medical staff. It will be a 1st down for the Mariners when play resumes. Merchant Marine comes off a 47-10 win over Catholic in a league game last week. In this all-time series, they lead at 32-15 overall, as Smith is helped off the field.
How awesome is that, though, Robert? You got a 6-foot, 220-pound left tackle playing alongside a 260-pound guard. That's just triple option football. You got it, and obviously the academy portion of this is part of it, but having guys that are a little bit lighter but versatile to get out in space and make plays, and now you twisted up an ankle here, so if that affects your ability to move in space, may see a substitution here.
So that was the starting left tackle for Merchant Marine. With this triple option offense, I mean, Merchant Marine confident. They're feeling like this could be a 17-18 play drive to take it 98 yards for a score. Abbott pitches it. And Kiernan takes it out close to the 20 for a gain of 4.
Strong safety down there, had an opportunity to make a tackle in the backfield, helps him trip forward, but the problem you get into with these 4- and 5-yard gains on plays where you actually defended it pretty well. Tackling for the Bears needs to be a little bit sharper. On contact, you got to get them down. The fall forward can kill you.
Abbott pulls it back, flag down. Abbott down at the 21.
Offense number 58. 10-yard penalty. Check it out.
Right guard Ryan Chisholm, a senior from Hanover, Massachusetts. And these are the kind of plays that really hurt a triple option team, because now you're looking at second and long, a team that passes better this year, but it's not really their bread and butter.
They'll get chuck plays from the running game. I think that's really their intention. And, you know, when you see a flag go down on a triple option play, you can almost be certain that it's a holding call of some sort, maybe a chop, you know, someone going at people's legs. These are tough days for defensive linemen, but you're going to get those kind of blocks. You just know it.
Quick throw into the flat for Vitelli. Nice open field tackle made there by Patrick Crowley to prevent a bigger gain. He is close to the first down of the 23.
Well, you hit on it here, Robert. They're going to go back to the passing game, but they did quick passing, right? It's right off the quick play action, get into Vitelli's hands, see if he can make a play. Actually, a good job there tackling to get him down and keep it from being a more explosive one.
Vitelli, return man as well, putting up big numbers in all-purpose yards once again this season. Third down, Abbott, first down. Leaps forward to the 29-yard line, and what was second and long turns into a first down for Merchant Marine.
One of the things you really have to do defensively to have success against a group like this is get downhill in a hurry as a linebacker. We're seeing some people on the second level for the Bears get latched up and turned. You can't have that. You're sitting in linebacker depth. They're on you. You're turned. You got to get downhill into those gaps in a hurry. Mariners
now 4 out of 4 on third down. That is a winning formula. 5 out of 5 actually, as they take it to Kiernan up the middle for the 33-yard line.
Well, the other thing you'll notice, folks, and obviously if you watch these service academies play a lot, you know this, but the clock suck is tremendous. You know, you're going to have a lot of running the football, not a lot of clock stoppages. This thing will fly by in a minute. You want to slow them down defensively, clearly, or you go wire to wire.
Play action, Abbott throws deep down the middle. Vitelli's all alone. He's hit, he breaks the tackle, and then he's spun down by Crowley at the 38-yard line. A big gain into Coast Guard territory.
Yeah, this is the worry. This is the concern. You know, a couple successful run plays, and then they're off play action, hitting you right back up the middle. And the timing there from the safety isn't terrible, but it's just enough space, most of the space, by which you're basically getting this because of the concern of the run. Vitelli pops out the other end, and we're off making plays again.
Into Coast Guard territory. Drive started at the 2-yard line. It's Kiernan who runs into a wall and is driven backwards for no gain. Brennan Dalglish there. As Vitelli really the big play option for this Mariners offense.
All-purpose yards. In other words, this guy's just going to get it. He's going to get it in the passing game. He'll get carries occasionally. He's big in the return game, typically for the Mariners, but he's really the guy that gets the explosion in this Mariner offense.
Kiernan, big hole up the middle, and the fullback has a first down to the 24-yard line, call it the 25. They'll move the sticks again.
Well, that there was just a tremendous read from Christian Abbott. He rode this just a little bit, but as he peeks up, wow, there's nothing there. I mean, you don't have a guy at the second level. He got hooked, chopped down in front of you, and it's basically direct to the safety at that point.
Kiernan, sophomore from Center Reach, New York. Abbott keeps. Abbott bounces it to the outside, and he's got another first down for Merchant Marine, which is marching here to the 14-yard line.
We had talked a little bit about the sort of size and experience deficit with the defensive line of the Bears. The double team on the left side here got tremendous movement. You were already downhill a couple strides out of the mesh point. So this is really nice job of the Mariners' left side of their offensive line. Collapse things, and it's a walk from there.
13th play of the drive. Fake the pitch. Abbott has room on the left side. He's going to run it inside the 10. Shakes the tackle. He's down at the 5. Close to another first down.
Really nice complimentary call here by the Mariners. I wasn't exactly sure what Abbott was going to do with this. He could have gone naked and just ran with it. Vitelli looks like he's wide open there. Maybe he takes a shot from the safety, but you had options. You're out in the flat, quarterback could have taken it himself, or a little bit of dump off. Really nice play design.
Up the middle, early. Touchdown! 14-play, 98-yard touchdown drive. It's 13-7.
Well, this is when you know the Mariners offense is dealing. A lot of different people touching the ball. Back to early again. Second touchdown here for him in the first quarter. But they hit on a lot of different elements within their offense to march end to end. You'll recall this thing started in the shadow of their own goal line.
Gartner's extra point. Ooh. Slice there. Yanked it off the tee. It's no good. 9 seconds left to go first quarter. Merchant Marine marches the length of the field and takes a 13-7 lead. James Early, 2 early touchdown runs, and Merchant Marine leads Coast Guard 13-7. Gives him 6 touchdowns on the season, a senior from Middletown, Maryland. On to kick it away again, Gavin Gartner.
Now watch this kick flight path here. It's been an adventure. The ball's been zipping around in the air.
Sidewinding kick will be handled by Jared Coletti at about the 5-yard line.
Nice cut.
He's up the near side of the 25-30, has some room. And Jared Coletti, a good return out of bounds past the 40-yard line as the first quarter comes to an end. Good field position for Coast Guard and good action in that first quarter. Merchant Marine ran 26 plays. Coast Guard ran 8. And at the end of 1 in the Secretary's Cup from New London, Connecticut, it's Merchant Marine 13 and Coast Guard 7. The 39th straight year these two academies have met, and after 1 quarter, it's Merchant Marine leading Coast Guard 13-7. Robert Lee, Matt Chatham, our entire terrific crew with you as the ball's tipped on the first play of the second quarter. We're here from New London, Connecticut, home of the Coast Guard Academy. Coast Guard scored on the 3rd play of the game. Merchant Marine has dominated since then as that pass was broken up nicely. It was broken up by Ethan Brady, an inside linebacker. Jones threw a touchdown on the 3rd play of the game, takes a low snap, blitzes on, throws deep down the middle for Moffitt. He's got it at the 30. Moffitt in a foot race again, and he is tripped up inside the 10.
Well, I think we got a beat here, folks, on what the favorite concept here is pass-wise. This is Jones hitting on that post pattern again, right down the middle of the field to Moffitt. Really nice ball. Moffitt slowed a bit, but didn't really have to break stride, so hits him out there in the open spaces. And we're looking at another huge piece of real estate all in one play. The big play offense that they wanted to stop. Merchant Marine still continuing to struggle with the big pieces.
Xavier Coleman, a freshman safety, saved the touchdown. It's Jones up the middle. He dives forward to the 3. Moffitt, as long as he stays healthy, is going to break Christian Lee's record for all-time receiving yards. He's got already over 100 in this game after that 52-yard catch.
I was gonna say, he's got a great opportunity to put a big chunk in against that before we even finish today.
He's at 3 catches for 119 yards already today. So add in his 119 to that total there, he's at about 2130.
I didn't know there was going to be math. There you go.
Jones fakes the handoff, runs it up the middle for a touchdown. Ryan Jones, 3rd rushing touchdown of the season. Coast Guard ties it.
Well, psychologically, this is a huge drive for the Bears. They had to come back and answer, go down a score. Really nice kick return to start this thing off. And then Jones hits Moffitt. Jones does it himself to finish the thing off. Great answer there by Coast Guard back in this ballgame. Did that sneak through? Just barely. And the special teams here ended up being a factor. Now they're going to take the lead by 1.
4-play, 58-yard drive. And it was Jones doing it there.
Off a little jet motion there, keeps it to himself, and Jones finds the end zone.
Beautiful day for football here in mid-November, and Coast Guard has bounced back to take the lead over arch rival Merchant Marine 14-13. Moffitt has been a one-man wrecking crew. 3 catches for 119 yards already.
And 2 big ones here, the kind of play that the Mariners had talked extensively in the week to us about trying to prevent. And it just keeps being that big downfield middle ball, basically a post route, off play action, hit twice. Gonna have to be an adjustment because Moffitt's running around there free right now. Not contested, at least until the catch.
Merchant Marine came in giving up the most passing yards in the NUMAC, almost 260 a game. Crowley's kick is a short end-over-end kick that's going to bounce at the 15. It's taken by Matt Strong. And he is tackled at about the 22-yard line. Last year, these 2 teams met in Kings Point, which is on Long Island, the North Shore. Coast Guard and Merchant Marine. It was the Bears trailing in Kings Point before Ryan Jones connected with Damaso Jamie at the end of the first quarter. Jones put Coast Guard up for good by connecting with Justin Moffitt. Looks just like this year, 14-10 at half. Then Jamie again. 3rd touchdown pass of the game for Jones. It was Coast Guard's first victory in Kings Point at Merchant Marine since 1996. Merchant Marine has won 8 of the last 11 meetings. Abbott play action, throws over the middle, caught by Vitelli. Breaking tackles, Vitelli ankle tackled at the 40-yard line. Colby Coco, the free safety, prevented what would have been a bigger gain.
Nice job there in play action by Abbott. He does a nice job off the play fake at kind of hiding this thing. See, it's just sort of hiding there on his hip. The linebackers are staring around who has it, who doesn't have it. That opens up some of the windows, puts a nice ball on his receiver.
Abbott running the option left. Even though they're losing, Merchant Marine has moved the ball easily on its first 2 possessions. It's only 2 possessions.
Yeah, they really have. In fairness, I think both defenses have struggled a little bit today, so this has been an offensive game thus far. Not the way necessarily expected to go for Coast Guard. They're used to being in some more knockout, drag-out kind of competitions.
This will be a plunge up the middle for another gain of about 3. To your point, Merchant Marine's average score this year is 39-30. Coast Guard has been outscored 20-19. So very different types of scoring games these teams are used to playing.
Yeah, Coast Guard doesn't have as pretty a record there in the conference, 2-4, but they've had a lot of these games all come down to a single score. Won their fair share, lost them as well, but they end up in a lot of these close games. WPI a week ago notwithstanding. Mariners
have been excellent on 3rd down as Abbott will keep. And this time he's going to be stopped for a loss. Maybe no gain on the play, but it'll be 4th down.
Tremendous penetration by Bitzer. We knew we were going to be talking about this guy a lot today, but his aggressiveness through the line, he read that really well. Boom. Nice pop. Yep.
Like they considered going for it for a moment there, but now they're going to send out the punt team.
You know, when your offense runs the football this well and you're down to, 4th and 2, it's the temptation's going to be strong. But both offenses answered well, so maybe giving away that chunk of real estate's not something they want to do necessarily. Play the field position game here, see if you can get this down inside the 10.
Sophomore Jack Ruark is the punter for Merchant Marine. Jared Coletti and Justin Moffitt back deep to receive for the Bears, and a whistle before the snap. If this is against Coast Guard for having too many players, this would lead to a 1st down. Nope, delay again.
Kicking team number 99. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Going to back them up 5.
And these flags are really whipping in the face of the punt team here. We saw Coast Guard kicking the opposite direction. Really have to drive a ball that's stuck. You hang this thing up too much and it might blow back into your own backfield.
Wind definitely blowing from left to right. As Ruark, high spiraling kick that'll hang up in the air. Moffitt calls for the fair catch and makes it at the 25.
Yeah, but I think that was the danger of hitting that sort of high, sort of the pinpoint ball kind of deal, because that thing ends up on the 26-yard line.
Tonight, ABC features a matchup of the top 2 teams in the Big 12. Number 10, Oklahoma, takes on number 13 and unbeaten Baylor. The Sooners are 25-3 all-time against the Bears. Have won 4 in a row. That's 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on ABC and the ESPN app. Big game in the Big 12 tonight down in Waco.
Yeah, only 3 players have touched the ball today. Jones, Wagner, and Moffitt. You see, they've been effective, clearly, but they haven't had to spread it around nearly as much as the Mariners on the other side.
Jones hands it off for Wagner, and this time he stood up. He drives his way forward tackled by Eric Davidson, the leading tackler for Merchant Marine, a sophomore inside linebacker.
Well, now we're going to get an opportunity to see how or if the Mariners have adjusted to sort of this play action stuff, the big play stuff that comes off of a stop. So 2nd and 10, great job there by the Mariners on 1st down. But it's been now finding Moffitt hidden here in the bunch and the big play stuff. Have they corrected that mistake?
Moffitt, number 8 in that trip set at the bottom of your screen. Got to do a better job of identifying and covering him, as he's been wide open on 2 50-plus yard catches. Jones has a lot of time, throws the crossing power, it's intercepted! Heading the other way is Garrett Johnson. He'll take it in for a Merchant Marine touchdown!
Really ill-advised ball here by Ryan Jones. These are the things you can't have. He's reading it late. He's popping out the other side. He just clearly didn't see the safety sort of sitting in the weeds beyond that route. So he looked a little confused. He had some time to deal with it. Maybe that's a moment where you just take off and go. But the defense does a great job of sitting on that thing, picking it off, and Garrett Johnson is back in the other direction for another score.
Coast Guard very late getting a player onto the field. The extra point attempt by Gavin Gartner was up and good. A pick 6 for Garrett Johnson, his first career interception, a junior from Middletown, Maryland.
You just have to think that Jones doesn't see Garrett Johnson here whatsoever. He's throwing that off his back foot. It does sail on him a little bit, but he appeared a bit surprised. But hey, Johnny on the spot. Johnson does the right thing, takes off with that thing and scores. And you know, Ryan Jones gives sort of the futile attempt to tackle him after his claw across the end line there. But score on defense, that's a big time play.
We saw those highlights from Coast Guard's win last year, and if you didn't see that game, Ryan Jones was a thrill a minute. He turned the ball over 4 times. He fumbled the ball 4 times. He lost 3 of them. He officially threw 1 interception. He honestly could have thrown about 5, but he also threw 3 touchdowns and 270 yards in a victory. I mean, the kid makes plays happen, whether not necessarily all for his own team.
Yeah, he's an exciting player. He just has to be a little smarter with the football. I mean, he's a senior. He's seen and done a lot of things at this point. But in fairness, that was a Ryan Jones-ish kind of play. A couple tremendous downfield balls to Moffitt. They're really moving the ball well. He's making great decisions in the running game. Then he throws a back foot ball that goes the other direction for a score. So it's a part of your resume at this part of your life. You've been playing this football that long. But on this big day, on this championship kind of atmosphere, you really want to cut down on those kind of things to give your team a chance.
He was a second-team All-League selection last year as Gartner kicks it away. Wobbly kick, taken, muffed. It's on the ground. It's picked up. It's loose. Looks like Merchant Marine has it at the 25. 2 different Coast Guard players bobbled it. A man who was running backwards ended up really mishandling the ball. Merchant Marine thinks they have it. They certainly have more players in the pile. They do. Another turnover.
Now, this is one of those really big momentum swings you can't have. You give up a score on defense. Ball handling was going to be difficult on a windy, cold day here down by the river, but it's fumbled initially by the returner. That may happen, but the next guy in, you can't try to scoop and turn and go the other direction. You're running away from your own end line. You need to just get on the ball and make sure you have possession. Now, the Coast Guard does not have possession.
And it's a run up the middle for Kiernan. This drive starting from the 24-yard line. It's a gain of 2.
Well, that's just sort of the coaching lesson. This is, you know, your hard lesson learned here as a young player, and this is what the coaches will be hammering. You can't make a bad play a terrible play. It was fumbled a little bit, but just fall on that thing and make sure you still have the football. Now the Mariners are off and rolling the other direction.
Kiernan running over the left side and hit hard and driven to the ground. Tempers flaring a little bit after that hard tackle by Mark Wick, the strong safety, number 32.
Wick came up there and put a hit on him. That was nice. That was fun to see. You got to have a lot of really hard tackling stuff from the secondary against the triple option team. The defensive backs, they got to get involved in the front. They did there.
Terrific on 3rd downs. Got to think Merchant Marine will go for it on 4th down as well if they don't get it here. Kicking into the wind from about 37 yards away at this point. Abbott getting a change of play from the sideline. 5 on the play clock. Down to 3. Option right. Abbott keeps, dives forward. He's short of the first down at the 18-yard line. It'll be fourth and about 3 or 4.
Nice job there by the Bears defense. They seem to be on top of the scheme. Looks like they're substituting out here. Going to go ahead and try for a kick.
Well, Gavin Gardner's been a good kicker for them. He's 11 out of 17 this season. He has made a 40-yarder. But this is into a pretty stiff breeze right now. And it's going to be a 34-yard attempt.
Going to have to drive this, keep it nice and low, but this is within a distance he can absolutely hit.
Even if he makes it, has to be considered a win for the Coast Guard defense. A timeout is called.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Tremendous series to them. Coach George talked a lot about the need here to basically have their gap integrity down, have the sort of scheme figured out. They did a nice job there in a sudden change moment to get a stop.
8.5 to go. First half. We'll step aside with Merchant Marine up by 6. The Mariners have changed their mind. They're going to go for it. They're 72% on fourth down this season, 18 out of 25. This will be fourth down and 4. Back to pass. Abbott has time. Flushed out. Throws into the end zone. Is tipped. And it is caught for a touchdown. Brian McGovern off the tip. And it's 26-14.
Oh, and you can see strong safety number 32, Mark Wick, is just beside himself. I think Christian Abbott makes a pretty poor decision, quite frankly, here to go with that ball. Wick had a chance to go up and make the play, taps it instead up forward to the receiver, and you end up with a touchdown there. Really dodged the bullet, did the Mariners offense by not having a turnover. And Wick, man, so close to making a big-time play. Instead, 7 points for the other side.
An 18-yard touchdown pass to Brian McGovern. And as you said, Wick tried to knock it down. He didn't get a good piece of it, and goes to McGovern, who catches his second touchdown of the season.
This is almost sort of a Karch-Karaev sort of batted volleyball kind of situation where he taps it actually up into the receiver as opposed to down. I mean, he's got full extension there. It's not as if it were an easy play, but you know, that's just unfortunate. And you can tell he's down there on all fours. He's thinking to himself, good grief, I almost had that one. Instead, score for the other side. They end up getting the points here now off the sudden change. We were talking about the stop the Bears got. They make the decision on the timeout. Hey, it's too windy out here. It's too goofy to try to make that kick. And that decision invariably pays off for the Mariners.
Back-to-back turnovers for Coast Guard. One, a pick 6, then a fumble on the kickoff leads to a 24-yard touchdown drive. And if you're now Coast Guard, suddenly you're down 2 scores, and Ryan Jones got to go out there and feel a little bit more pressure.
You know what? These teams move the ball really quickly, even on the ground. So, I mean, I think there's going to come that time consideration. You don't want to give up a whole bunch of time. But you can't press here and just go spread offense. That's not what either of these teams do. Jones is going to need to move the ball, but I don't think you abandon the offense just yet. Still off early.
Moffitt handles the end over end kick at the 14, coming near side, and undercut at about the 22. Good special teams coverage there by the Mariners.
A little chippy after the play, but, you know, these guys are after each other. This is a very, very heated rivalry for both, and nobody took their helmet off and swung it at another dude, so that's good.
Plus.
That's a plus.
From the 23-yard line, the Secretary's Cup was established back in 1981. Since they officially started playing for the Cup, Merchant Marine leads 25-13. But the first meeting ever was all the way back in 1949. Jones hands it off to Wagner. Good hole right side. And John Wagner, driven down at the 33-yard line, has a first down.
That was a really nice play. Offensively, I like this as a drive starter because I'm coming out here and thinking defensively, wow, they've spread the formation out. 3 receivers extended, and what do? They create that space, and then they give it to the back. And he makes a really nice run, finishes it off there with a little corkscrew in contact. That was nice.
Second run of 10 yards or more for Wagner. And it moves the sticks on the first play of the drive out to the 33.
Now, in fairness to this idea, big plays. You know, Mariners are down here, deepest guy on the field, 7 yards from the line of scrimmage. The big play stuff's available if they can connect.
They throw it deep near side for Arsenal. Did he make a one-handed catch? Yes, he did, into Merchant Marine territory.
That's really kind of what I'm talking about. You're sort of inviting the big play attempt, at least, by virtue of coming up here so aggressively, defensively. They're up in your face. Woo, nice one-hander. He stacks him. So this is the wide receiver getting on top of the DB outside. Jones puts a really nice ball out there. This is what you're inviting by playing this style of defense. You want to stop the big plays, but they're going to keep rolling if you keep coming with these kinds of looks.
Longest catch of the season for Arsenal. Jones dropping back, throws off his back foot. Almost a diving grab by Moffitt. After that 34-yard completion to Arsenal.
You said the operable phrase here, Robert. Off his back foot. That was dangerous, not so much for necessarily where he was going with it, but the kind of ball he's delivering. He needs to step into that thing and drive there. That gets undercut by the defensive back relatively easy. All it has to do is float just a little bit, arrive, a quarter of a second later than otherwise would have, and you got another interception the other direction. Big play for Jones, dangerous play for Jones. This is the pattern.
He's 4 out of 8 for 153 yards, a touchdown and a score. No flag on the play. It was intended for Jared Coletti. Coast Guard crowd not happy about it.
There was a lot of contact on that one before the ball arrived. I was thinking that was going to garner a flag. It's a little low crossing route here, and that's a bad pass interference miss there. He sort of hooks him with the upfield arm, turns him a little bit. They missed it.
That was inside linebacker Eric Davidson. 3rd and 10. Again, probably 4-down territory here. It would be about a 50-yard field goal at this point, unless they lose a lot of yardage on this play. It's an option right. Jones wrestled down at the 28-yard line, where it'll be 4th down and 5.
Well, the issues with wind aren't as bad here. Obviously, you're going to have it with you. But it's still a pretty long kick at this level. I think they're going to go ahead here, keep the offense up the field, and stay in the same formation. Get right back up on the ball and go.
Also, the way Merchant Marine is scoring at this point, not sure a field goal with Merchant Marine scoring touchdowns. Going for the field goal, not terribly advisable, and they're going to go for it here on the 6th play of the drive. Jones takes a good snap, pump fake, rolls out of the pocket. He is sacked! Walsh, a junior from Margate, New Jersey, ends the drive.
Well, Jones wanted this ISO to the bottom of your screen there. He had a one-on-one route, but the receiver got jammed up. He couldn't get off the jam, couldn't get the separation. Jones had to pull it back in, and the defense was able to chase him down from behind. Really nice job there by the cornerback, in part helping that to happen because he jammed up the route. Kept that thing from being fluid. Jones gets run down.
First sack of the season for Walsh. And Merchant Marine back on offense. Abbott pivots upfield and darts forward to the 41-yard line, a gain of 3. Now, Coast Guard really needs to stop here, because if Merchant Marine goes down and takes 4 or 5 minutes and score, they're going to get the ball to start the second half as well. Could get away from you a little bit.
It's a great point, and it's not just points at this juncture, it's points in time. So if as you mentioned, they're able to even get 3, but with a suck completely off the clock and the turn after the kick, or after the half, that's a big deal here for the Mariners.
Spinning his way forward early, who's got 2 touchdown runs already. He takes it to the 45. Merchant Marine is 4th in the country. They hold the ball for about 35.5 minutes a game out of 60. So far, they're at about 15 minutes. Coast Guard at 9 minutes.
Big down here. Unlikely to go for it on 4th down in your own territory, so Bears need to stop.
Abbott hit behind the line and stopped. Good job there by Dalglish. But check that, Rizzo, freshman from Glens Falls, New York, stopped him for a loss. And Merchant Marine will be forced to punt.
Yeah, big time stop there by Rizzo. That he gets some nice penetration on the backside there, and on the front side there, right at the point of attack. That slows the play up. And in fairness to the Bears, I think this was really exactly what they needed. It was not just a stop, it was a quick stop. Quick stop opportunity here to get points there of their own before the half.
Moffitt takes it on the run of the 26. Moffitt in the open field, 45. Moffitt has room. He's into the open field at the 20. Breaks the tackle, cuts back, still on his feet, and all the way down inside the 10. One-man offensive show. Justin Moffitt have a game.
Awesome job by Moffitt, but watch how well this is set up early. The wall is there. Nice job not getting the flag out in the front. First blocker sort of does the wall-off thing, put your hands down, but this thing was really well blocked by the Bears. Moffitt gets out in front and shows the speed, makes a few people miss, but huge flip of the field. How many of these have we had today?
Big play game.
Some have been post patterns, some have been defensive scores. Now we're getting special teams moving length of the field. Exciting here in the Secretary's Cup.
Shout out to the punter there, Ruark, who made him slow up and may have prevented a touchdown for the moment as Jones is driven down at the 2.
For the brand. Punter getting involved, making some plays.
Made him cut back. Could have gone all the way to the end zone.
There you go.
Moffitt has had 3 50-plus yard plays in this game, 2 receptions and that punt return. He's going to be the all-purpose guy today. To the 3-yard line, as Coast Guard has flipped the script here quickly.
It sounds a little ridiculous, but you know, you kind of presume the score. It's sort of this depth. They've gotten them down quite a bit here, but it's second down. It behooves them maybe not to score right away, quite frankly. You know, giving them back to the Mariners and allowing them to have a drive before half.
Jones into the end zone for a touchdown. Ryan Jones' second touchdown run of the game, and it's 26-27-20.
Yeah, I said all that, and at the end of the day, you'd like to score, right? Of course you'll take the
Beggars
points.
can't be choosers.
Exactly. You're down 2 scores, now you're just down a single. Nice job there by Jones. You know, this is what the offense had to do. You get the great big play from special teams. You got to come out, protect the football, get downhill, get the score. Back into this thing, 1-score ball game.
Crowley, a senior from San Marino, California. A kicker as well as a cornerback for this Coast Guard team. On for the extra point.
Huge extra point coming here.
Merchant Marine missed one earlier. That ball sidewinds through the uprights for a score. The big punt return leads to a short touchdown run for Jones. 27-21 shootout here in New London. Ryan Jones' second touchdown run of the second quarter in a high-scoring affair here. Coast Guard down 27-21 in the Secretary's Cup. Bill George, final game for him as Coast Guard head coach. He also has several assistant coaches, their offensive coordinator and both their co-defensive coordinators who've been with him all 21 years.
It's amazing. It can be a shock to a program when that face you've just been so used to sort of being affiliated of this particular school is suddenly not there a year from now. It'll be a big change for these guys, but he's obviously done a tremendous job with the program.
Pooch kick to the near side, be taken by an up back at the 29. And short return out past the 35. This game was scoring from the start, 14-13, but a lot of big plays and key turnovers since then.
This has been crazy. This has been fun. We've had a blast here, but the bad ball off the back foot there. Defense has scored the other direction. Mishandled snap here. Then another guy kind of puts the ball on the ground. Merchant's got it. Then you get the near interception on 4th down. It's tapped up in the air. Ends up as a touchdown. Then Moffitt on the punt return. Great blocking. Wall set up there. Big time play. Jones comes back off jet motion. Keeps it himself. Plunges in. 5-6 big plays there right in a row.
Pitch to Strong, trying to get to the edge. Beautiful block on the corner by McGovern, and Strong taken down after a gain of 7.
Tell you what, man, there is no more sort of difficult, like, what the heck do you do kind of block when a guy is running at you from distance and he's going to cut you. You're sitting there at defensive back. You're going to accept a block from 10 yards away. Guy's a full head sprint. It's tough to beat that block. Really nice execution there by the Mariners, but as a defensive player, man, I hate those.
Reverse direction here, and Abbott spun down after no gain. Set up a 3rd and short.
Bears defense is really coming alive.
Yep.
You see some action there, guys, a little fist pump, and they're all fired up. They're getting stops. They're starting to kind of figure this out. It's Simon defense. You know, it very often isn't really much about scheme choices. It's just you need to be really insistent that everyone's where they need to be.
No, got gashed early, but stiffening here as the game has gone on. 3rd and short, pitch left. Kiernan. Good tackle, but he did pick up the 1st down at the 48.
Yeah, this play was destined to be a good play for the Mariners from the jump. They got the end cut. So watch right off the bat, end on the ground. End on the ground, you've got a chance outside. So you really have to beat that as a defensive end with your hands. Anticipate it, head down, hands down, get the shoulder pads out in front of you. Give a little ground if you have to, keep your feet. If you're chopped, your defense is screwed.
Cornerback Michael Goldsworthy stood him up, squared him up, and took him out of bounds. It is a first down. Abbott pitches for strong. He fumbled the ball, and he'll fall on it for a big loss.
That's just obviously the thing in college football. You know, it's a dead ball once you go down, once the knee's down. You don't have an opportunity like the pros to get up and roll with that. But that was fumbled awful early. I think in retrospect he probably made the right decision, not trying to scoop and go, but rather to fall right on that ball. You don't get the turnover, but now you got to come up with 17 yards or whatever it is in just a couple downs, and you're running off. It's not so easy to do.
Abbott fakes the handoff, stands in, throws down the middle, broken up. Mark Wick again, intended for Strong.
Yeah, tremendous break there by Wick. He's been all over his ball skills. He just, he had the unfortunate tip there in the end zone, but like the way he rolls to this route, he undercuts it, sort of seam route, does a good job with the near arm there. Gets a hand on that thing. He's maybe one more stride, and he's picking that thing off. Nice job there by Wick.
Second-year starter, the strong safety, a captain for the Bears. It'll be 3rd and long with just about a minute and a half to go. 6 out of 9 on 3rd down. This is the longest 3rd down they faced. Abbott pitches it late and out of bounds, well short of the first down is Matt Strong near midfield. There is a Coast Guard player down, 43-yard line. It's Andre Horner, an outside linebacker.
Horner's one of these unheralded guys. A lot of the conversation ends up being around Bitzer because he's really just been a tackling machine. Bitzer actually ends up making that play, but block soaked up by other people. Bitzer's get a roll, makes a play.
While we have a chance while they're helping Horner off the field, some of you tuning in for the first time may say, how are these guys different than the Army or the Navy or the Air Force? We'll give a quick educational synopsis. The Coast Guard is primarily search and rescue, preventing drug trafficking on the open seas, things like that. They're part of the Department of Homeland Security. You have to spend 5 years as active service in the Coast Guard after you get out of the academy. Most of these kids are going to be officers. Merchant Marines are officers on cargo and commerce ships out at sea. They actually serve an internship at sea while they're in school for a year, while they're sophomores and juniors. They have to serve between 7 to 10 years after they get out of the Merchant Marine Academy, but they can go to any of the other branches of the military, poor punt here, any of the other branches of the military and become part of them, and the Merchant Marines part of the Department of Transportation. And we're told there's going to be a flyover. We were told this before the game, and it's coming up in about a minute. HC-144 plane is coming from an air station in Cape Cod. We'll keep our eyes out for that.
Very disastrous football sequence here for Merchant Marine. They get backed up on just a fumble. I mean, that's sort of a self-induced sort of error there. Backs you up into second and forever. Then you're not able to get out of the series. It's quick and short on time. And then you have, I don't know, what was that, like a 12-yard punt back into the wind. So really poor sequence there. Opens a door here for the Bears to maybe sneak through with a score before the half.
To clarify, we were told that was going to happen around the end of the half. Jones airs it out deep. Has a man inside the 20. It's incomplete. Intended for Jared Coletti. A little bit overthrown on a long pass.
About a 50-yard ball there by Jones, and he gets his feet set, really lets this thing rip, just overthrows his man by about a yard. But good ball there. Good opportunity to take a shot. That's pretty typical. You've just had the nice change of field position, get the really bad punt, go for it, go ahead and take a shot early on first down. That's pretty typical offense here, especially before half.
Chance for the Bears to tie or take the lead before the break. Jones rolls out right, throws on the run, caught by Moffitt. There is a flag down, and Moffitt is out of bounds across midfield. Probably coming back. Our referee today, Alex Perella.
Looks like we're going to see it. Ooh.
Personal foul, face mask. Offense number 55. 15-yard penalty in the previous spot. Second down.
Thought they might call that a hold, but they're calling it a mask. But yeah, he was certainly grabbed. Restricted him, affected the rush.
Robert Childress, will see him at the bottom of the screen, the right tackle.
He sort of got those the underhooks, and then as it went by, where's the actual grab come? I don't know if that's a face mask. I think that's just a hold, but it looked like he was actually a little grab on the shoulder padded, because a hold would have been done a little different here than obviously a personal foul. He's getting the mask. I don't think that happened, but there was an infraction one way or the other.
Second and long now. Coast Guard has all 3 of its timeouts with 1:05 to go. Merchant Marine will get the ball to start the second half.
I'd like to say a minute's not enough, but we've seen a lot of quick strikes today, so
absolutely.
Who knows?
Keep an eye out for Moffitt. This will be a run to Wagner, and run down from behind beautifully by Reno Dubriel, the senior outside linebacker. And a timeout. I believe Merchant Marine called another timeout. That'll be their second to preserve time on the clock. The Disney bundle is now available. You can get ESPN Plus with great content like NFL Primetime, UFC, NHL, and the 30 for 30 library. And you also get Disney Plus and Hulu. Really an amazing package of movies, sports, and shows. Go to ESPNplus.com to sign up now. That's new as of this week. And know quite a few people who've signed up for Disney Plus, and chances are I'll be doing it as well with my little ones.
The Mandarin, am I saying that right?
Mandalorian.
It's a big word. Yes. I'm a big Star Wars fan, but I'm not up on the newer stuff, so I got to get my Disney Plus going here and get caught up. My kids have been tugging at the shirt tails to get going on that because they want to see it badly, and I missed it this week. We'll have to catch up.
After the timeout, now if the clock continues to run here, expect Merchant Marine to take their last timeout after this play. It's 3rd down and very long. They have to get to midfield here. Look for probably a somewhat conservative play call here by Coast Guard. 3rd and long. Jones back to pass. He steps up. Forget conservative. No, he throws it into the ground.
No, I think that was the right move, Robert. Yeah, I liked how he's really, I mean, he didn't even make that an attempt. He tried to, break an ankle there. He threw that really hard at the ground, but that's the right move. At that moment, you don't want to step up, get stripped from behind. You don't want to turn over in this situation. It would have been nice to maybe score. You don't. It's okay. Go to the half. It's a 1-score game. You see this. Well, he was actually being pulled down a little bit, but that was not even, that wasn't even close to it being an actual completed attempt. Here's the issue. Ball security. This ball could very easily be fielded very near midfield, and the Mariners still got a timeout situation in front of them. They still got one left.
Liam Middleton is the punter. Booming kick. Strong calls for the fair catch and makes it on the run at the 35-yard line. So now only 46 seconds left. 1 timeout for Merchant Marine for this triple option attack that leads 27-21. Abbott, we talked about the improved passing from him this year, and their offense overall, 6 out of 9, 95 yards and a touchdown. You'll take that all day.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I think, what do we got? 45 seconds here to go. You really need about 40 yards if you're going to attempt a field goal. I think they need to get themselves inside the 25 to be able to hit at their range, but it's possible. It's plausible.
Abbott running the option right and cut down. And I think they're probably going to play it pretty conservative here. They don't actually have to run another play if they don't want.
They're still rushing to the line, but they're obviously sucking up some clock here doing it this way. They've got the other timeout left, but these kind of play calls are, as you mentioned, Robert, they're probably letting this thing go.
Now, Coast Guard does have 3 timeouts, but it looks like they're just going to let Merchant Marine run what will probably be the last play of the half here. The play clock and the game clock are pretty much synced up. They don't really have to run another play with 8 seconds left.
Love how they pull out and stare at the sideline. What's he going to tell you at that point? Yeah. I think they're just sitting on this one.
And I love that. Don't run a play because a guy could get hurt.
Yeah.
You could always have a turnover. You're on your own side of the field. Play it conservative. Go to the locker room. Halftime, 27-21. Merchant Marine with the lead. There's the flyover. We were promised it. That's terrific. I love that stuff. That is a HC-144 fixed-wing plane that came from an air station in Cape Cod. That is terrific. These 2 service academies going at it for the Secretary's Cup. During the halftime show, we'll have an SMU redemption feature. We'll take a look at that. We'll talk with the superintendent of the Coast Guard, Bill Kelly. We'll have highlights and stats. Good one here in the first half. Merchant Marine with the lead, 27-21. Halftime in New London, Connecticut. The Secretary's Cup 2019 with visiting Merchant Marine leading the Coast Guard 27-21. We're back here at Cadet Memorial Field. Robert Lee, pleased to be joined by the superintendent of the Coast Guard Academy, Admiral Bill Kelly. He's in his first year as the superintendent here at Coast Guard. We appreciate you taking the time. These players, we see them on the field and their exploits, both good and bad. Tell us a little bit about the experience of a Coast Guard athlete and football player, not only on but off the field.
Thanks, Robert. I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you so much for ESPN to be here today. Great venue. The athletes at the Coast Guard Academy are truly, they're our cadets as well. 62% of all of our student athletes play out here on an NCAA Division III team. We prepare to win every day. When our cadets graduate, they're going to go out into the fleet, and the nation expects the United States Coast Guard to win against narco-terrorists. They expect us to win in a search and rescue case, and they expect us to win when we protect the environment. So our goal is to prepare to win every day out on the athletic field, and that's what you see here today with our cadets gritting it out against the Merchant Marine Academy.
A guy who's done a lot of winning for your program is head coach Bill George. You've only been here for less than a year. He's been here 21 years. This is his last game. What kind of impact have you felt from him in your short time here and that he's made on this community?
Sure. So I'm a huge Coast Guard Academy Bears fan of all of our sports and been following for quite some time. And, Coach George has been with 21 years, had some ups and had some downs, but stays with it every day. And he's just indicative of a tremendous faculty and staff and coaches that we have on board the Academy. They're so dedicated to developing the next leaders of the United States Coast Guard, and we're privileged to have him as part of our team.
One thing, as we're talking with Admiral Bill Kelly, the superintendent of the Coast Guard, your athletic director's position vacant right now. What are you looking for in a leader to lead this department?
Sure. So we're actually going to have our finalists on board next week, and I'm excited about that. We have 3 finalists coming in. We had a nationwide search, expansive search. We're looking for somebody to continue to take us to the next level. It's resources are the root of all excellence in academics and on the athletic field, and so we need somebody to come in who understands what it means to be a coach, understands what it means to run an athletic program, understands what it means to bring resources in, but also has to have a special understanding that our student athletes are very different because of what they're going to do the day they graduate on this very football field.
Admiral Kelly, we appreciate the time. All the best to you, to the football team, as well as the entire department, and best of luck the rest of the season.
Thank you so much. I just want to give you my coin as a sign of appreciation.
Nice.
Thank you so much.
Let's get a look at that. 27-21. Merchant Marine leads the Coast Guard Academy. I'll bring that home. My kids are going to love it. My kids are going to love it, I'm telling you. More on the halftime show coming up after this. Beautiful sunshine here on the shores of the Thames River. And it's Merchant Marine leading Coast Guard 27-21. Robert Lee, Matt Chatham back with you. Let's take a look at those first half highlights. And there was a lot of them for Merchant Marine, both offensively and defensively.
It was exciting. Play a minute here, folks. We had a lot of big-time plays early. Not a lot of the drive it down the length of the field style. Occasionally that happened, but a lot of it was just turnovers, big plays off turnovers, big plays in the special teams, sometimes gaps, as we're seeing here later, efficiently on one, but then we see here a very near interception situation, tipped, made a play out of it, then back to the Moffitt show. Moffitt making big plays throughout this day. He touched it. Good things happen for the Bears. Here's the second of those, another 50-yard plus big play for the Bears. And then things get going here in the special teams element as well. Moffitt making plays there also. So it was a play a minute here in this game. Back and forth, Coast Guard and Merchant Marine.
Terrific first half between these arch rivals. We expect more of the same in the second. 27-21, Merchant Marine. Sunny Saturday afternoon here in New London, Connecticut, where we're set to start the second half. Merchant Marine Academy leads the United States Coast Guard Academy 27-21, along with our entire terrific ESPN crew on the shores of the Thames River. Robert Lee and former New England Patriot and 3-time Super Bowl champion Matt Chatham with you. good first half. And Matt, what are you looking for here in the second half?
More of the same. That was fun, Robert. I really enjoy this game. We're getting sort of a lot of back and forth action. I think ultimately this is going to come down to who makes the better, sort of more judicious play. The mistakes have been a killer really for both sides. Both sides haven't been completely mistake averse, but who makes it, who capitalizes on it, I think that will ultimately decide this thing.
Terrific atmosphere here at Cadet Memorial Field. Division III rivalry game, Secretary's Cup. It's Coast Guard in the red jerseys kicking it away. Nobody there. Merchant Marine picks it up off a bounce and gets a good return out close to the 35-yard line. Merchant Marine, the Mariners, are in the white jerseys. Coast Guard, the home team. The Bears are in the red jerseys. And it'll be Merchant Marine in their triple option offense out to start the second half. They really controlled the ball in that first half. The yards were pretty even, 244 from Merchant Marine to 201 for Coast Guard, but they had the ball twice as long.
Exactly, and you know, that's to be expected here a little bit with this triple option offense, but back on it again. See if the adjustments have been made by the Bears.
Shot put, pitch to Reese. Flag is down. Several flags, actually.
Potentially a couple different kinds of calls here because you're getting one flag from the perimeter from your side judge, and then the back judge threw one from across the field.
Offense number 20. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
Caught on running back Matt Restifo. You look at those first half stats, they do it in different ways. Coast Guard through the air, Merchant Marine on the ground. Third downs, Coast Guard got to do a better job there.
Really do, but again, I think it's going to be that situational conversion kind of stuff that'll come up here on the back end. It's going to be some critical moments. Who's going to make the play?
That proficiency on third down has allowed Merchant Marine to extend drives and keep the ball for basically twice as long as Coast Guard had it in the first half. Try to wear them down a bit. Ran 44 plays in the first half, Coast Guard 25. Play action, Abbott slings it out far side. Caught for a short gain, fighting forward, and spun down at the 34-yard line as Luke Jameson. That's his third catch of the season.
It was interesting that Jameson was going to the wristband before that play. It was almost as if we were checking what route he was doing. We haven't seen an out concept yet. That was the first time we see a little quick 5-yard out there. It ends up just being a couple, but it's not something we often see from these guys.
Checking to see if the ball was actually coming his way. Only the third time he's caught it this year. Early big run up the middle for a first down to the 45.
Like, wait a minute, what played you say? Oh, this is coming to me.
3 catches in 9 games, but helps them pick up a first down after the early run.
Yeah, but how much is that this offense, right? So they do the quick outside pass, and then, okay, now everything's back outside the numbers and hashes. No, and then it's early, right over center.
From the 45, big hit at the hole. Early spins off and fumbles the ball, but I think he was down as he took a lick at the point of contact, and he is down.
Early with the carry.
The senior from Middletown, Maryland, who scored 2 touchdowns in the first quarter, took a big hit from Dan Dingus. We'll step aside here early in the third quarter with Merchant Marine leading the Coast Guard by 6. Fullback James Early did walk off the field, but he took a big hit from linebacker Dan Dingus.
Yeah, Dingus with a nice run through here, and it's just a monster collision. Clean hit. This is real football. This is going to happen, and in fairness, you know, Early does a good job of running through it because Dingus just bounced off him. Just a big collision for both guys. And you see Early letting go of this thing at the end. I mean, that's just probably being a little bit dazed and just letting go of the ball, but Merchant Marine able to get back on top of it and live to see another day.
Backup fullback, although he runs the ball a lot as well. Sophomore Alec Kiernan in there as well now. Abbott tied up behind the line, gets away. Not able to get away from a host of Coast Guard defenders back at the 43. Dalgleish first in there on the spot.
Dalgleish, thank you for that name. What a great job there by number 70. He plows through the line here. I think his get off was tremendous. I think he timed it really well. He gets through the line and he's immediately got a hand on him. Now watch, he doesn't get him down with a jersey, but he continues to pursue, and he's the guy that hits him off the backside. Actually very fortunate that Abbott was able to hang on to that thing. That's usually when you see a lot of the strips on the comeback kind of stuff.
6 out of 10 on third down, although most of them have been third and short. Third and long here. Abbott will keep it himself, and he will be spun down around midfield. Flag down. And if this is against Coast Guard, could lead to an automatic first down when he was about 5 yards short.
Personal foul, face mask. Defense number 70. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. Automatic, first down.
And it's just what you can't have. Really, really great play the down before. Not a smart play here. And then it's reset. And it's a big chunky yardage here now deep into the Bears territory. Yeah, can't have that.
Yeah, it's the second man in, number 70, Dalglish.
Yeah, you just got to use better. You got to use better technique than that, and better concentration.
Dangerous pitch, but corralling it was Reese. Yeah, Merchant Marine has put the ball on the ground 4 times. They've recovered all of them, and that doesn't even factor in that James Early play just a moment ago that wasn't called a fumble.
Yeah, they're living dangerously, but they're getting away from it at this point. But if you've had that good fortune, now you need to take advantage of it. That's a pretty dangerous pitch there as well. That thing very nearly was intercepted on the pitch.
Play action, Abbott throws over the middle, has a man open inside the 25, bowling his way forward, refusing to go down inside the 20. Rugby scrum to the 16-yard line and a first down.
These are really one of those play concepts that you see hit on with a triple option team. Everyone starts getting sucked in on the run fake. And now you're seeing a sit route here between 3 defenders. I mean, there's all sorts of red around him, but he's sitting there in part because of that run fake. It makes everyone freeze. The guy's out there running around all by himself, but as a defensive back, you're not sure, am I running up the tackle or do I have to cover?
Abbott pitches it late for Restifo, heading along the far sideline, runs over a man, he's down inside the 5. That previous catch was a 21-yard completion to Luke Jamison, his second catch of the half. Again, came into the game with 2 catches all season.
Really nice perimeter blocking here by the Mariners because they're tied up on the outside. It should have had a defensive back there with an opportunity to make a play, but both guys go inside. When you don't go to the outside to try to make this tackle, they're out there on the perimeter making plays. Nice little spin out of that there as well to get a few extra yards.
From the 3-yard line, trying to get 4 for 4 in the red zone for touchdowns. Abbott will do just that. He's in. Oh, they're going to say he's in for the score. Merchant Marine with that big 3rd down penalty takes advantage and takes a 12-point lead.
And I'm glad you mentioned the penalty, Robert, because it looms really large here. That was a big chunk of real estate. It was a pretty big mistake after a great play by number 70, but got to have better focus. This is really what this game's going to come down to. Who's going to make the fewer mistakes? But that second life given back to the Mariners, they take great advantage of it. Now the drop.
They'll go for 2. And it's Kiernan who's in for the 2-point conversion. No, check that. Down. Goldad. The center somehow had the ball there. I'm not sure how that happened.
You go figure. I have no clue, but you know what? The important element here is the Mariners were able to make on the 2-point conversion. So the missed extra point from long ago is off the board essentially, and we're back with a 14-point deficit.
Merchant Marine takes a 2-touchdown lead now after the touchdown run by Abbott. And it was Kiernan, the fullback, on the 2-point conversion, 35-21. Merchant Marine takes the opening drive of the second half and scores to take a 14-point lead over its arch-rival Coast Guard.
A lot of time left in this thing, though. We still got almost 11 minutes in this quarter and the full 4th quarter to go. And this Secretary's Cup has gone the opposite way each of the last couple of years. The road team winning. And opportunity here for Mariners to keep that alive, but plenty of time for Coast Guard to get back in this thing and win one on their home turf.
Coast Guard has not beaten Merchant Marine in back-to-back years since 96-97, 22 years ago, trying to make it 2 in a row this season, or this year. They'll have to rally to do it. Justin Moffitt from the 7-yard line. Justin Moffitt breaking tackles and spins forward to the 25. These 2 schools are in Division III, and the road to the 2019 Division III Football Championship begins tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Eastern with the selection show on NCAA.com. 32 teams will be selected to compete in this year's playoffs starting next Saturday, concluding with the 47th Amos Alonso Stag Bowl from Saturday, December 20th. This will be the second and final year. The title game's at Wood Forest Stadium in Shenandoah, Texas. It'll be at the Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium in Canton, Ohio next year. Last year was Mary Hardin-Baylor beating perennial power Mount Union for the title, and they're the top two teams again this year as Jones is pressured and throws it beyond the reach. And there is a flag down. It's going to be roughing the passer. It was intended for Liam Middleton.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense number 85. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Well, I'll reserve judgment until I see the replay. It was a nice hit on the quarterback, but not sure if that was a count late. But I think the bigger issue here is really both squads now have given back some real estate that the other side didn't earn, right? Defensively for the Bears, they had that big 15-yard penalty on the face mask that reset a set of downs for them, and now helping get the Bears out of their own shadow of their own end zone.
Now another flag. It's going to be a false start against Coast Guard. Getting a little sloppy here to start the third quarter.
False start. Offense number 55. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Penalties were not a huge factor in that first half. There was only 4 penalties total, as you see Jones' numbers. Again, feast or famine, that pick 6, but he's also accounted for 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, just on 4 completions, that big swath of yards that he's got there. So it's been a big play, big strike offense, but at this point, it really just looks like the team that's going to make fewer mistakes.
Jones escapes pressure, throws for Wagner in the backfield, and it's another big loss on the play of about 7.
You're going the wrong way. We're getting close to Thanksgiving here.
You're going to kill somebody.
Little planes, trains, and automobiles. Yeah, so that was a really dangerous play. Obviously, the defensive lineman comes plowing through the line. You avoid the sack, does Jones there in a minute, but then you're throwing a swing pass that arrives late, which, you know, there's an opportunity there for a big hit in the backfield on your back. So you sneak one in there, get a few yards in the wrong direction. I think possession, again, should become the focus of this team. Can't have these critical errors going the wrong direction.
2nd and 22 now with under 10 minutes to go in the third quarter. Jones deep drop, steps up in the pocket, looking downfield, has a man over the middle, it's incomplete. Luke Arsenal, the intended receiver.
Well, Jones missed one there. They actually ran a little switch route, little scissors concept on the outside, so both of the receivers extended to the quarterback's right are going to push up the field. Then the route sort of switch lanes. It creates sort of a natural pick down the field. He throws to the low element, misses the ball. The downfield element, the other part of the scissors, is actually wide open. Ryan didn't happen to see it. Could have been a big play there, left out on the field.
3rd and long now. Yeah, the chances of a 22-yard conversion versus a turnover. Have to be careful. Throws it over the middle into traffic. It is caught by Moffitt, but still 5 yards short of the first down. It'll be 4th and 5 from the 45.
You were spot on there, Robert, because that was actually a really nice deep route concept. It's about an 18-yard route, deep comeback. Jones does a nice job of stepping up and completing that ball, but there just aren't a lot of 22-yard routes to be run unless we're talking fades and goes. That's a good executed play, but you can't expect much longer protection to get something deeper than that. Yes, I would punt. I think this is still the right thing. At the end of the day, the Bears have been about their defense this year. They're going to have to get a stop. You can't have something bad go here and go down 3 scores. That would end the game.
Middleton has done a nice job punting the ball, and he watches this one roll into the red zone, and a big field position change here all the way down to the 13-yard line, where Merchant Marine will take over 1st and 10. First time we televised this game back in 2017. The Cadets marching onto the field, the color guard before the game. It was the Mariners trailing by a field goal early when Joe Vitelli recovered a fumble in the end zone for 6. Still within reach to start the 4th quarter. Merchant Marines' Bryce Moore scored the first of 2 rushing touchdowns there. And then Brooks Cannell scooped up a loose ball and ended up returning it for a touchdown. The Mariners scored 21 unanswered to end the game 48-23 here in New London. It's a pitch for McGovern, and he's sliced down at the 15-yard line.
And as you saw in that last highlight, I've been fortunate enough to call 3 of these Secretary's Cup games that we've had here on ESPN, and it's been a lot of goofy plays, a lot of fun and exciting stuff down the stretch. I'm sure we still got something great for you here in this one. This has been an awesome contest, but a lot of excitement. Never been shortage of that.
Abbott bouncing it outside, spun down at the 19. Will set up a third down as Coast Guard, the defense desperately trying to get off the field here and get the ball back with good field position.
I think that had to be their gamble, though. Really, the strongest unit of their crew this year has been the defense. They've made some decent adjustments, although the last drive wasn't a great example of that. But I think at some point, your defense is going to need to get a stop here if you're going to make the comeback.
3rd and 4. Abbott fakes the pitch, rolls out left, fakes the pass, throws, it's caught up in the air, it's intercepted! Dalglish, he fumbled it, it's on the ground. Coast Guard's got it, it appears to the 28. What a sequence there. Dalglish intercepted the batted ball and then fumbled it on the return, but the Bears have it.
I think Dalglish is the Ryan Jones of the defense. Is that fair to say? This guy's been a roller coaster himself. Big play, bad play, big play, bad play. I mean, nice job there by him of turning and getting in pursuit after the ball was tipped up into the air. Dalglish here, you'll see, ends up sort of coming back into play. This is, really nice bootleg play here. Opportunity for Abbott to, now Abbott put it right on him. That's not his issue, but great job there by the defensive end to get on the field. But big boy, you got to secure the football.
3 points of pressure, right? Even at the defensive
four.
Get four.
Yeah, use all those. Hit that bicep and rib cage involved there as well. But nice job there, at least to pursue by the rest of his Bear teammates, because once Dalglish put this thing back on the ground, there's another red jersey there to fall on this thing. And thank goodness, now the Bears are in business inside the 30, driving the other direction.
Vitelli was injured on the play as he's being helped off the field. Joe Vitelli, Merchant Marine's top wide receiver, was down. He is walking off the field with his helmet off. But Coast Guard not only gets the stop there, causes a turnover, first of the game for Merchant Marine. It will go down as an interception for Abbott, and now plus field position from the 27.
Got to capitalize on your opportunities. It was sort of put on a plate here for you. Ball pops in the air. Good fortune to get it after the fumble. Got to take advantage. Big time game. This is your championship. You need to take advantage of the opportunities.
Jones back to pass, throws down the middle. It is caught by Arsenal. No, incomplete. Knocked away by Noah Newberg, the cornerback.
Well, decent job by Arsenal of initially having this thing. I think Jones's ball floats just a little bit. Yeah, you need to snatch it. You need to snatch it. He puts his hands on it. You got to pull that thing in and secure it. I thought, though, the receiver wasn't led so much so that the defensive back could have kept out of the play. Jones needs to do a little better job of leading him, but the receiver still does need to come down with that thing.
Jones has time, flushed out of the pocket to the right, looking to throw. Instead, he'll run out of bounds for a gain of about a yard.
It looked like John Wagner here was running down the middle of the field, waving his arms, trying to get Ryan Jones' attention. He was wide open in the middle of the field. Jones in the scramble just couldn't find him.
Coast Guard has not converted a third down today, 0 for 4. And will probably, you would think, go for it here, barring a huge loss on this play on 4th down 2 touchdowns in the middle of the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, thinking that it might be a 2-down kind of situation. You don't have to get it back in one chunk.
Jones very close to the first down. Looks like he does have it at the 17-yard line.
Look at the bottom of your screen here, folks. This was the previous play. Jones goes into the scramble here. He gets a little pressure up the front. He decides to leave. Look at there at the bottom of your screen, bottom right. Hands up, waving for it. Hey, look at me, look at me, look at me. A little Three Amigos stuff there, but no, wasn't able to find him. But it looks like Jones now they've still got the 4th down marker up. Are they going to mark this a little bit short? Jones does a nice job here on this one, advancing forward, but they don't quite have it. Or they do. Excuse me. No, they just reset the sticks. My bad, folks. 1st and 10, but we've got a man down for Merchant Marine.
A Mariner player is injured at about the 16-yard line. Can't quite catch the number from here. About 7 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter in what's been an action-packed Secretary's Cup so far. We're being told it is Tanner Carter, a safety, a senior, number 15.
Difficult to tell what happened there. He ends up on the tackle, does Tanner, but just shaken up a little bit. Oh, he's holding his left arm a little bit funny. That's often maybe an AC joint, maybe a shoulder of some sort, something to do with the arm, but Well, now he's straightening it. So, Matt, don't play doctor. Looks like he's banged up. We'll see what happens.
Again, these are Division III teams. There's not a ton of depth on these teams. So when your starters start going down, the starting fullback was hurt. The starting wide receiver just went off the field. Now the starting safety is hurt. They may come back into the game, but it's not like some of the bigger programs where you're going 2-3 deep at these spots.
Yeah, it's a great point, and I know youth has been a talking point for both these teams because they've had some attrition throughout the season. So, got to shuffle them, got to move some people around, and this is that quick moment. Now they're backed up here defensively. You're in sort of a low red area situation. You've got to get the stop if you're the Mariners. 1st and 10
from the 17. Jones out of the shotgun, has time, throws over the middle. It is incomplete. Wagner could have taken it in for a score, couldn't make the catch.
It looked, when the receiver looked back here, I don't know if we're getting a little sunlight. We're down to the last portion of the field that has any sun back left in it. We're sort of living in a shadow here, but it looked like he was a little slow in popping his hands, which made me think maybe was he looking back in the sun and just didn't concentrate well. Maybe not. Maybe he just didn't secure that thing, but missed opportunity there because he popped out the backside of the slant. Ryan did a good job of putting on, and that could have very well been a touchdown.
Wagner does have 20 catches this season. Couldn't bring that one in. 2nd down design run for Jones over the left side to the 15. Gain of 2 will set up 3rd down. Again, probably 4-down territory here. Down by 2 scores.
Defensively, you should be able to get a read on what Ryan Jones is doing. He was taking the snap. I think he was running forward into the run before the ball had actually arrived to him. So he's hitting that thing with a head full of steam. Full head of steam, a head full of steam, full steam head. I don't know. I might have screwed that idiom up, folks.
A lot of steam.
A lot of steam. A lot of steam in here somewhere, somehow, some way.
3rd down and 8. Jones designed run again. Spins forward. Inside the 10, and he's about 2 yards short of the 1st down. And I think down by 2 touchdowns, you've got to go for it here. 4th down and about 2. And they will go for it.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's even a decision. Back on the ball, quickly, same formation.
0 for 1 on 4th down today. 5 out of 10 this season overall.
Look to your big-time player here, Moffitt. If they're going to go to the running game, he can be the point of attack as a blocker. If you want to get Jones out in space, or the isolation with your top guy.
Blitz is on, throw over the middle, wide open for the touchdown! Tommaso Jamie! And it's 35-27.
Jamie ends up being the receiver that catches this ball, but the pick comes from Moffitt, the guy you would expect the target to go to. Gets a little more distraction there. Coverage moving his way with the pick, and then Jamie pops open. Free underneath that for the score. Bringing your Bears back to within a touchdown here. Extra point on way.
Crowley's kick is up and good. Team leading 6th touchdown of the season for Tommaso Jamie, a sophomore from New Jersey, cuts the lead to 7 points. Tommaso Jamie, a touchdown reception, pulls Coast Guard within 7, and close games are certainly familiar to the Bears this season.
Yeah, they've had a handful of these, and it's something that's sort of a learning situation for a young program. They've been on a lot of the tight spots here. First 6 games decided by 10 points or fewer. They're on the good side of a portion of those and not always on the good side. So this is another one of those kinds of games. We're down to that kind of environment. Have they learned from those old lessons? Are they going to be able to push this one across the line? In a tight one here at the Secretary's Cup. Fun day of football.
Playing for the 39th consecutive year, going back to 1981, and the 48th meeting all time.
And not for nothing, the sun is virtually gone for 2/3 of this field. A lot of this action is now happening in the shade, but moves from shade to sun, shade to sun. That can again affect a little of the ball handling.
Vitelli is back in there. He handles the kickoff at the 10. Vitelli has some blocking on the far side. Vitelli into the open field. Across midfield, Vitelli has a blocker. Vitelli in a foot race to the 20. He'll take it all the way for a touchdown. 90 yards. Joe Vitelli extends the lead to 13.
Leading into this game, we didn't know if Joe Vitelli was going to be heavily involved in the return game because he'd been a little banged up with the shoulder. Lo and behold, they were only going to use him if they need him. Get to a one-score game in the Secretary's Cup, we need him. They put him in here. Joe makes the big-time play. Nice blocking out in front of him. Another huge play here in the Secretary's Cup. Big play, change of field position, change of the scoreboard.
Extra point is up and in by Gartner. 91 yards officially for Joe Vitelli. He was injured earlier this quarter.
Moffitt on the other side, Vitelli on this side. And recall that Vitelli had been banged up in this game and had been down at one point. Now he returns. Real game breaker here kind of situation. It had become a tight game and now back open to a two-score game here. Mariners back on top by 14.
We talked about those all-purpose yards that he's excelled in this season. Adds another 91 to the total there with that kickoff return.
Yeah, he's just a football player. He's going to help you as a slot. He's going to help you occasionally, receiver that might actually get carries sometimes and in the return game. But hey, they got a guy on the other side there for the Bears as well. Moffitt's been making his share of plays. This is fun. Back and forth. Big-time knockout punches from each end.
And they say good players come in all sizes. Joe Vitelli is 5'6", 160 pounds. Takes it all the way to extend the lead to 2 scores.
He'd probably tell you he's 5'7".
Hey, I'm just going off what the roster said. You take that up with your staff. Kevin Gartner ready to kick it away.
Maybe he's 5'4", and he really loves his staff for helping him out, hooking him out.
Gartner tees it up at the 35. Moffitt back deep to receive. Along with Jamie, it'll be Moffitt from the 7, coming near side. Ooh, Moffitt undercut at the 21-yard line.
You can hear the crowd getting a little ornery here. This is fun. Obviously, the cadets from both sides are starting to get a little chippy. Here from the stands are kind of getting behind. Come on, let's go, let's go, let's go. This is a fun little environment here. Small college football, packed house, though. Got a great crowd. Got a lot of the service members surrounding the field. Has a cool little intense environment. And yeah, it's a 2-score game now, but shoot, we got a quarter and a third here to go. So plenty of time for something crazy to happen in the Secretary's Cup. It often does.
Moffitt a little gingerly to the sideline after that hit on the kickoff return. He is in there, and it's a handoff left for Wagner. Breaks an ankle tackle, keeps moving forward out past the 25.
This is interesting. We're getting a really aggressive run pass call out of the crowd now. This is fun. We're sort of in the tense moments of this game. Nice gain there on first down. Good drive starter here for the Bears, but they're now to their spread offense, going to 3-by-1 again, looking to spread things out.
Definitely no shortage of big plays in this game. It started from the 3rd play of the game, a 65-yard touchdown pass to Moffitt, but hasn't stopped. Jones rolls out right, steps into the door, has a man wide open. It's Moffitt. He couldn't see it in the sun. Yeah. Matt, you were right. He was looking right into the sun. He couldn't see the ball.
Whenever you see guys going up sort of the Riverside sort of sideline, when they look back to that, I don't know, my north, south, east, and west, but when he's looking back in their direction, you have absolutely no clue. This actually happens a lot to us at Gillette Stadium. Always used to have this problem looking back into the southwest for 1 o'clock games. If you're a receiver, if you're a defensive back, you can't see over the top of the stadium if the sun sits right in the right spot. Tough ball to catch there. You have to kind of keep that in mind. If the receivers are going to have those issues, maybe you work the ball to the other side of the field if you're going in this direction.
And it's a bad break because he was wide open.
Wide open. Great read by Jones to get him the ball, but if you can't see it, you can't catch it.
They run the bubble screen near side. It's incomplete. It's intended for Cody Fiddler. And it was in traffic.
That was dangerous. I thought we were going to see a really big hit there. Jones kind of floated that thing up. It's meant to be like a tear screen kind of thing. He's coming back to the quarterback, but he floated it high. You usually think there's maybe something else coming from behind it. A big hit averted there. That could have been a mess.
Instead, they'll have to punt it away. Liam Middleton, and back deep to receive Joe Vitelli, who just took the ball back 90-plus for a kickoff return on his last touch of the ball. He's at the 42-yard line now. He'll have to look into the sun potentially to receive the punt. Whoa. Actually, he won't, as this is a very poor kick to the near side. It's going to go out of bounds in Coast Guard territory.
Seen a couple bad balls, really, by both sides, both punt teams. We had like a 12-yard punt earlier. That looked like it traveled maybe 20, 15, 18, I don't know, something like that. Not a lot. Got a little too much out of that. No spin. Sort of caught the front tip with the toe. I think shot up right in the air and weren't even able to get it into the other territory. So drive start here on the 45 of the Bears for the Mariners.
And Merchant Marine looking to go up by 3 scores in this back and forth affair. Abbott picks his way forward. Christian Abbott, nice run to the 35, close to a first down.
Big opportunity here for the Mariners. If you get sort of a time-sucking score off of this one, 3 scores, now that does change things because of the way the other offense operates. But nice decision there, and you see that sweet feet that Abbott has. He can bounce around tackles pretty nicely there once he gets to the second level.
22 carries now for Abbott, 88 yards and a touchdown. Abbott had the pitch taken away, and he spins forward for a gain of 3.
That was a good decision. Had he pitched it flat, it had been widened out. So I think at that moment, again, we're back to ball possession here. Time, you're going to get 35 seconds or so off of the fact that you kept this thing in the field of play. So there's a benefit to that. You get a benefit of the time here. You got 2 downs still to continue to get the first down.
Bitzer, his 10th tackle, leads the league in tackles coming into the game. Abbott, play action, back to pass, lots of time, throws down the middle. Double coverage, it's caught anyways. Inside the 10, inside the 5 to the 4-yard line. And that is Luke Jamison.
Well, you said it into double coverage. I was staring at that going, no, don't do that. And he did throw into double coverage, but I think the one thing he had going for him is that second coverage player in never got turned around. Number 32 there had his back to him the entire time. So good on Abbott for knowing as much. He gets it, drives the ball in there. The defensive back, the second man in, is never actually able to turn around.
So he has now exceeded his entire season catch total this quarter. Pitch wide open to the end zone. Restifo for the score.
Well, Coach Toop talked to us about how all year the passing game had improved remarkably. That big setup play from a play ago, move the ball down in a big chunk of the passing game, then you're back to your bread and butter. Little quick triple option play off the pitch, out in space. Suck comes in on Abbott. He does a nice job of making a late decision there. Easy to the back, easy 6 points.
4-yard touchdown run for Restifo.
On the defense. 12 men, half the distance, retry.
It's now a 20-point lead as Merchant Marine will try to make it 21 with the extra point by Gartner. Kick is up and good. 2:49 to play third quarter, and Merchant Marine has opened up a 49-28 lead.
Well, one more look here. He's going to draw it out, does Abbott, and he has to get rid of it because the end comes crashing in. They're basically optioning that in. He comes quickly. Pitchman's not able to get there, get it out of your hand. That's smooth operation for a triple option offense. That's what you want to see. Nice job there by the Mariners.
And sometimes in these rivalry games, it's the unsung players that end up making the biggest difference. You come in, you say it's going to be Vitelli, and he certainly had that kickoff return, but we're going to laud Luke Jamison here. He's got 3 catches this quarter for 58 yards. He took them all the way inside the 5 there. Again, this season he'd had 2 catches for 36 yards in 8 games.
Yeah, having a big day. I mean, obviously this is a huge moment for these guys. You want to have them step up, have your best stuff in the Secretary's Cup. And
a senior.
A senior, exactly. That heightens the moment even more. This is it. And having a wonderful day there.
And these guys aren't going to go on to play pro. They're not going to play on Sundays. In fact, they're going to serve the country overseas and on the high seas. For these seniors, this is the last game of their career. Kickoff will be taken by Jared Coletti at the 6-yard line. Coast Guard looking for a spark. Coletti will give them that spark and more. Jared Coletti out of bounds at the 31. Cost them about 15 yards as he stepped out of bounds. There is an injured player. A couple of years ago, similar game. Coast Guard had cut the lead down to 4 when Joe Vitelli had a huge kickoff return for a score, an 83-yard kickoff return all the way inside the 10. Merchant Marine went on to score and ended up winning it by 25 points. And then today, when Coast Guard had pulled to within 6, Vitelli changed the tenor of the game.
He's spark plug. He gets out there and makes a play when they need a play. That's really what he's done throughout his career. Nice job there. You see him able to switch the ball, is able to get himself a stiff arm out in front of that thing and keep off the potential tackler as he switched it. That was smooth. Really big-time play by a big-time player for this Mariners program. Now, we got a guy down on the field here again in the special teams. He was rolling around, flopping there a little bit. Looked to be in some serious pain. Hope he is all right. Checking him out there on the sideline zone now. And that's put a little stall and pause. Allows the Bears a little time here to talk it through. I mean, this is situational football. It's a pretty big deficit here with 21 points, but again, still 17 plus in this game. We've seen so many big plays, Robert. It's not unfathomable that they can come back. You just have to understand that it's not going to all happen in one play.
There have been a lot of injuries, particularly for Merchant Marine in this third quarter. That is number 35, Colin Ilfeld, a tight end nearby Fairfield, Connecticut, who was the injured player on special teams. And now he's helped off the field. Coast Guard has it 1st and 10. As you said, a lot of time left. You're in a situation where you need to score pretty much every time you have the ball net.
Basically, no mistakes. At this point, there's just no time for any more of those.
Jones back to pass, good protection, throws. It is caught by Middleton. And he breaks tackles across midfield. Big Liam Middleton across midfield to the 47.
That was sort of a, I don't know, deep hook or a little bit deeper hitch kind of thing, because I think it's hitting about 12 to 13 yards, somewhere in that range. But nice job there by Ryan Jones. That's the kind of dart you got to throw. He threw that into a zone kind of scenario, so the route was sitting between 2 coverage people. You had to hit it in there on a line. He did a nice job there of delivering the exact ball, and the receiver went and snatched it.
6'6" senior from Dover, New Hampshire, 22-yard catch from Middleton. Blitz is on. Dubriel running him down. Jones throws. He's got a man for a first down. Justin Moffitt along the far sideline.
Jones got knocked down there a little bit, but able to get back up. Nice job of him there of escaping the pursuit, because the downhill runner here basically runs through the blocker, comes after him. He's able to deliver a really nice ball on the move. Nice job there by Ryan Jones. Good job in the broken play.
5th catch for Moffitt, 148 yards and a touchdown. Moves the sticks to the 34-yard line. Setting up the screen. Jones will throw it away wisely. Wagner in the area, not an intentional grounding.
Yeah, they didn't buy it, and it was good to get rid of it, because you could have a catastrophe there if you attempt to continue to run out of screen after it's been picked up short. They don't buy it, they don't come up past your lineman, you don't have a play.
Goes down as an intelligent, incomplete pass. Will set up 2nd and 10. Coast Guard in the red jerseys down by 3 scores. Blitz is on. Throw deep down the middle for Jamie. He's got it for the score. 34 yards for the 34th point of the game.
I was nudging my partner here, pointing out to the field. You could tell that that ISO ball was going to Jamie. Look back to the field. In other words, they were trying to make sure the safety and stuff stayed away from that side. You were going to get that 50-50 ISO ball back there to his big play threat. Watch Jones here. His eyes are popping real quickly. They had set this thing up by formation, and he was building, getting top of the defensive back in a hurry. Just had to get a quick and accurate ball.
High snap. And it leads to a missed extra point.
Big miss here. Yeah, in the special teams, you've got to be tight at this point. Now, clearly, in the event that the Bears are able to come back, they're going to have to go for 2 at some point. But good job really here by Jones of getting his hand out of his hand quickly and leading his receiver, leading Jamie down the field. He was blowing by the defensive back. He had the ISO they wanted, and he didn't make the receiver have to break stride to come get it.
Jamie didn't play in the first half. He was injured for much of this season, but he's caught 2 balls for touchdowns here in the third quarter. 3rd touchdown pass for Jones. 10 for 23, 241 yards and 3 scores. And the score was 27-21 at halftime.
Remember the good old days?
So there's been 34 5 points scored here in the third quarter combined.
I mean, how ridiculous of either of you or myself to ever say this thing's over until the clock goes 0, because I think at this point, a 14-point game.
Well, it renders the question, how many points is it going to take to win this game? Probably 55 at least, right?
Well, I keep thinking that a defensive stop is going to change this thing. Either these two teams ever change a series, well, then maybe we're talking about something. But at this juncture, it's just back and forth with the scoring.
Vitelli back deep to receive, but it'll be taken by one of his teammates at the 22 and up back, who is driven down at the 35, and that's where Merchant Marine will go on offense with 1.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Merchant Marine has moved the ball consistently throughout the game. And here late in the third quarter now has 358 yards. On the season they average a little bit over 480, so right on pace. But a host of big plays, a defensive score, a special teams touchdown as Kiernan takes it up the middle to the 40, a gain of 5.
You tend to think that Merchant Marine is predictably going to go to the run game here a little bit more. The time suck is awfully important. But again, ball possession huge. No mistakes at this juncture.
Kiernan again running with 2 hands on the ball, pushes his way forward for 2. So now 3rd down and 3 here late in the third quarter. Coast Guard with a stop. Could basically run only about 45 seconds off the clock and get the ball back.
Clearly they don't share my philosophy. Coach Stoop has been doing this many years more than me. I'm a little surprised though to see the snaps coming this early in the play clock. Now, you're on the football,
on the play clock.
Yeah. Run the football, 2-score lead. I think the clock is your friend.
It is a first down to McGovern across midfield to the 48. And that allowed them to most likely take the rest of the third quarter on this possession.
You could, but will they? I mean, I was really surprised that first, second, third down situation there went really quickly, where they could have really taken it to the quarter had they wanted to.
Kiernan undercut after a short gain at the 45. And you look at a play like that, and there's this triple option offense, you're like, oh, whatever. It's a 3-yard gain. Their block plays go for 4 yards.
Right, exactly. Oh, we screwed that one up and only got 5. What are we thinking?
Yeah, it's not the most dramatic or sexy thing you've ever seen, but it's going for 4 or 5 yards.
Using less than 10 of the clock here again. I'm very surprised by that.
Abbott will end the third quarter at the 41-yard line.
Maybe the rationale, Robert, is, pedal to the metal. This is how we're going to do it. We're going to score every time we get the ball, and we're not going to take our time. Let's see if we can score 100. Who knows? Merchant
Marine staying in attack mode, and we'll go to the fourth quarter of the Secretary's Cup. With a 49-34 lead, they extend a 6-point halftime lead and take it to a 15-point lead with 15 minutes to go. This is what they're playing for, the Secretary's Cup. Coast Guard won it last year. Who will take it home this season? We'll find out in the fourth. Head coach Bill George of Coast Guard in his 21st and final season. This is his last game as a head coach. He is retiring after today's game and hoping his team can rally here in the fourth quarter. Merchant Marine in the white jerseys opens the fourth quarter with the ball. Abbott runs it over the left side and undercut at the 37-yard line. Robert Lee, Matt Chatham, and our entire crew with you from New London, Connecticut. Cadet Memorial Field on the campus of the Coast Guard Academy. Beautiful day for football, beautiful setting, and Merchant Marine trying to win the Secretary's Cup after Coast Guard won it on their home field last year.
Well, we're having this conversation during the break about how Merchant Marine is going to handle the clock. A little more off at that time, not quite as quick, maybe 10 more seconds, but they seem content here to just keep pedal to the metal and try to get the score and not pay attention to much what's going on with the clock.
Kiernan plows forward for a gain of 8. Coast Guard looking for a stop here, trying to get the ball back to their potent offense, but down 49-34. Really, you look at this, such a high-scoring game, tough to pinpoint a play or two, but Merchant Marine does have a pick 6, and they also have a kickoff return for a touchdown. 2 non-offensive touchdowns in a 2-touchdown game. Abbott back to pass, has a man wide open down the near side. Now he's covered. He'll catch it anyways inside the 5. It is Matt Strong at the 1-yard line. 31-yard completion.
I'm going to couch here a little bit. This is a good play. Clearly, it's a big downfield play. Matt Strong catches his ball, but I don't understand why this route went back into the defensive back. He runs that thing back to the pylon. The throw is away from the coverage player, and you probably walk in the end zone.
It's a handoff for Kiernan and a touchdown. Alec Kiernan.
Here I am complaining about 30-yard completions, but nice job there clearly by the Mariners offense, but they seem to make that a little harder on themselves than it needed to be.
Took about 3 minutes off the clock, exactly 3 minutes actually, 9 plays and 65 yards. Kiernan, his 7th rushing touchdown of the season, the most on the team. And now 55 points on the board. It's going to be a lot of push-ups for the Cadets down there in the far end zone. Gardner on for the extra point. Add one more push-up to it. 56 points now.
Here's the big pass down the field. Gives the big chunk of real estate they needed. Thrown back to the inside. Nearly intercepted, but not. Which leads to the quick dive play for another score. Merchant Marine out in front. Stop there.
Merchant Marine leads Coast Guard 56-34 with 13.5 minutes to go in the ball game. And the Coast Guard Cadets hoping their team can mount a comeback here, but they're going to have to pretty much score every drive the rest of the game, and they can't let Merchant Marine score anymore.
Fourth quarter of this basketball or football game forthcoming. You look at your score, though, folks, and you wouldn't know. But this is fun and exciting. Secretary's Cup, we always know we're going to get a fun one, a little different kind of fun this year. Virtually no defense, but that's okay. We're going to look here down the stretch and see which team can make more plays to finish these things off. Take home the cup.
Gardner boots it away. Wobbly kick will be taken by Jamie at the 9. He's coming near side. And Jamie spun down just past the 20. Tonight, ABC features a matchup of the top 2 teams in the Big 12 as number 10 Oklahoma takes on number 13 and unbeaten Baylor. The Sooners are 25-3 all-time against the Bears, have won the last 4. 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on ABC and the ESPN app. Chance for the undefeated Baylor Bears to establish that they are for real. Kind of the same way Minnesota did against Penn State last week. Chance for Baylor to make a statement for the college football playoff tonight. Running over the left side is Ryan Jones to the 25.
It'd be silly to say there's not enough time because we've seen how the quick strike has gone here, but they do have to be relatively judicious. I think now we had all that clock conversation with how Merchant Marine was going to handle it. On the other hand, the Bears need to get going.
And probably 4-down territory the rest of the game.
Oh,
but they just
sure.
have to, regardless of where they are on the field, they have to score a touchdown every possession the rest of the game.
And possibly cause a turnover. You know, you're going to have to get some ball disruption of some of your own here.
Jones looking near side, steps up in the pocket, and he is sacked. Joshua King, a sophomore defensive end, brought him down.
He missed the read. He had the quick hitch early, didn't decide to go to it. It's not a huge loss by not virtue of getting that 4-yard route, but he stared it down. It was actually available. Maybe you couldn't see over his big right tackle there. I'd see around to see that the route had come open, but it's not a lot of harm there. It's, you know, it's a short sack. Still has an opportunity here in 3rd and 4th down, as you mentioned, with 2-down territory.
Pressure's on. Jones throws down the middle for Jamie. It's incomplete. Little bit overthrown for him. There on the coverage was Noah Newberg.
Not a great ball there by Jones, but a good recognition at least that that's a route concept you want to go to. And it looks like they're going to punt this ball. Interesting. Like I say, it's a good decision. Hey, let's put it this way. They're in a bad spot.
Yeah.
You're not in a great spot to have to make a good decision because the notion of turning it over there at this point is...
Yeah, I mean, if you don't get this 4th and 8, I mean, the game's basically over probably because Merchant Marine's going to score in all likelihood based on what they've done all game.
This is a vote of confidence for a defense that hasn't had a day-to-day, but maybe at some point they do get a stop or turnover. Ooh, that's a flat ball.
Just a wobbly duck there, but relatively effective as it goes all the way to the 47-yard line. Merchant Marine back on offense looking to put it away with 12 minutes left to go. Merchant Marine looking to put an exclamation point on this Secretary's Cup, leading it by 22 points with the ball back with under 12 minutes to go. Quarterback Christian Abbott has been effective on the ground, through the air, making decisions as he hands it off over the left side to Tyler Reese, who gets across midfield for a gain of 6. Abbott really struggled in this game last year. Really struggled. He was 7 out of 23 for 21 yards for the entire game. He threw 4 interceptions, including 3 in a row late in the fourth quarter, when they were probably going to lose by that point, but really struggled, and his improvement passing the ball has been very noticeable.
Well, Coach Toop talked about how they believe that was absolutely their worst game of the season. Worst time to have it, obviously. Secretary's Cup, huge game for these guys, but they've come out sharp today here. They're really aiming to get this one under their belt.
Abbott picks his way forward and is close to a first down. And he's been judicious today. He's 10 out of 14 for 181 yards. He's thrown for a score. He's thrown an interception. He also just went over 100 yards rushing with that last carry. And so much of this option offense is about the quarterback, even more so than a regular offense.
Oh, absolutely, Robert. I mean, basically, if you're going to say, we're a triple option team, well, who's your quarterback? And because that's the apex of everything, good, bad, or otherwise, that's going to go on. You need great decision making from there. You need great ball security from that spot. You need, if you're going to be a really good triple option team, the ability to occasionally pull it out and deliver a pass.
He was about half a yard short of the first down. He'll get it here with Reese over the right side. He lunges forward to the 41, and that they are taking more time off the clock now with 10:20 to go.
And this gets into the tough part of the game. We know that it's a little unfair here to the Bears. That football's not fair, but they've had a lot of injuries to their defensive front. And you get into a game like this time of a game where you really need this bad stop. You need to stop badly. Excuse me. You need some horses up front to sort of win these gaps, get some penetration, get some negative plays. But they've had to, unfortunately, go extremely young across this defensive front. We knew it was going to be a challenge coming in. These guys will learn from this, grow from this, maybe hopefully for them have better experiences down the line. But
as Abbott bobbled the ball and fell on it.
That's really where you see the biggest discrepancy now, though.
And Merchant Marines had the ball for over 30 minutes to Coast Guard's 18. And, as a former defensive player, how does that, it just wears you down.
It wears you down, but I mean, the flip side of that, part of why that's happened is because the Bears offense has been pretty quick strike. The offense has a two-play score, and that's going to cut down on the time of possession part as well.
73 plays for Merchant Marine, 45 for Coast Guard. Taking more time off the clock now with 9 on the play clock. Tight formation here. And it's Abbott. And he dives forward to the 37. Anything but a turnover is fine here. It'll set up third down.
You see these goofy formations, that Merchant Marines using here. It's fun. I mean, you don't normally see this where you see the backside has no tight end, no receiver extend. It's just a two-man surface to one side of the ball, and then you have what looks like 3 tight ends. You just have all boom, 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 guard, tackle, tight end, another tight end, and a wing. It just looks really funny if you're used to seeing more traditional offensive sets. But as a defense, you have to treat that as an overload. I mean, there's clearly a much stronger side of the formation.
Also nice to see that fullback James Early, number 4, is back in the game. He took a hellacious hit in the third quarter, was down for a while as Abbott trying to pick his way over the right side. He stopped for no gain. Early was hit hard on a tackle by Dan Dingus, but he is back in there. He's a senior. Yeah. He's out there for his last game.
Good to see him. You toughen up. You say, hey, you know what? I've got enough juice in the tank. I'm injured, or I'm hurt, not injured, right? I want to get back in out there and finish thing off the right way. You would presume at this point they're going to be willing to punt this, pinning them deep, making the real estate a little more difficult for the Bears would be important. But bombing a ball into the end zone doesn't help you either. So maybe looking here at a time stoppage.
They're going to let the play clock run all the way down and then call a timeout.
There you go.
Or they might just take the 5-yard penalty. Nope, they do call a timeout. Head coach Mike Toop, 10-4 in his previous 14 years against the Coast Guard, and good shape to make it 11-4 here with about half of the fourth quarter left to play. His counterpart, Bill George, we've talked about him. His 21st and final season, he played at Ithaca College, Was a starting center, 4-year starter for the Bombers back in the late 70s. Was an All-American. Ithaca actually won the national championship back in 1979 when he was on the team. Take a look back at his time throughout his football career. But 21 years as head coach of Coast Guard. As we said, terrific playing career. He's led the Bears to 75 wins, 2 division titles. That picture taken from last year's win in this game at Merchant Marine. The hair's gotten a little grayer. It's understandable. The picture's in color now. I'm not sure what that means. I mean, they had color photos back in the late 90s. But one of his most notable moments was when they beat Merchant Marine back in 2014. As you see his bio here, some of his great moments. He actually fulfilled a promise by jumping into the Thames River just beyond the football stadium here after they beat Merchant Marine. We'll see that right after this play as Merchant Marine is going to go for it here on 4th down and 6. Back to pass. Pressure's on, Abbott. And it was incomplete, intended for Jamison. He wisely wore like a wetsuit. I'm sure it was not particularly warm in the river just beyond the stadium here.
And curiously enough, on his retirement day, decided not to make that pledge again.
He has a young child at home, a 9-year-old, and he said for family reasons, he's been doing this for a long time. He wanted to spend more time at home. Certainly understandable. He's had a decorated career as head coach here at Coast Guard. And Mike Toop had very positive things to say about his rival and colleague in this Service Academy football area. Jones rolling out to the right. He is sacked.
Well, a big part of it, Robert, is you come to this place to learn to be a leader, right? These are the people that we all depend upon for our own freedom and for the safety of travel and all the different kind of things that these guys get into, the search and rescue element, all of it. But they're teaching these young men to become leaders. When you hear Coach George say, you know what, I'm the leader of my family, and I got a 9-year-old, there's the age gap that was a consideration for me. I need to go to be the leader of that unit. You know, that's a very respectable thing. At some point he made a decision that this is coaching life is tough. I've got a lot more in the tank, but I need to go lead my people now.
Jones rolls out, batted down. And he said there's no way he can kind of dial it back. He said if he's going to be the head coach, he's going to go full bore. That's just the way he is. And he is leading young men here and building the future of our country. And he said football is really an escape for these kids. You know, they're so busy with all their academic requirements and their military requirements that if they get 5 hours of sleep in a night, they're thrilled.
Exactly, and that's why, you know, I understand the experience here as a student athlete, but it's nothing like here at the academies. He talks about how these football games are so important to the guys because oftentimes it's a release from all the other stuff they got going on, the activities of the week. They love to just get out here for 3 hours.
3rd and long. Wide open over the middle for a first down is John Wagner. He takes it into Merchant Marine territory, and he's down.
Nicely delivered ball here by Ryan Jones. Back out of the backfield kind of thing. We'll extend it for the formation, but now you got Wagner down a little bit, banged up. Not sure exactly what it is that's bothering him, but really nice executed play there. He ends up on all 4s and a little shaken up.
Big gain to the 46-yard line.
I love the metaphor that Coach George used. I mean, obviously it's very apropos, but he said, I'm jumping overboard for my family.
We'll step aside and come back with 6:40 to go. Take 56 with you into retirement.
Exactly. I want my...
6:40 left to go here in the 4th quarter. Wagner was helped off the field. And head coach Bill George sees his team facing a 22-point deficit. 1st and 10 for the Coast Guard into Merchant Marine territory.
Daunting but not insurmountable. Got to score quickly. Got to possess the ball, obviously.
Jones out of the shotgun as he has been all game. Steps up, throws deep down the field for Jamie. He's got it again at the 1-yard line. 45 yards, almost his 3rd touchdown of the 2nd half.
We didn't see any of this guy in the 1st half, and they're all over him in the 2nd. This is into not so much double coverage. I like the throw. He's over the top. He's stacking people. Nice job there of Jones of delivering the ball. And this is why you can't count these guys out. Whether it be Jamie or Moffitt, there's a big strike element to this Bear offense. You just cannot count them out.
Jay Griffin has checked into the game as an up back. It'll be a handoff. And stopped short of the goal line was Chris Gardner. His first carry of the game, a bigger back, a junior.
This is where, if you're the Coast Guard Bears, you need to pick the tempo up.
Yeah.
You don't want to kill a minute and a half of time to get 1 yard. You're down here. It was a hair before being actually a touchdown. So now you've gotten this real estate. You need to take advantage of it because time can quickly become your enemy.
Full house backfield here. It's a handoff for Wagner, who takes it in over the right side for a touchdown.
You know, Coach, I was a little banged up, but the ball's on the 1 yard line after running back. Hey, feeling a lot better. Give me the ball. Nice job there by Wagner getting home. Again, quick strike offense here for the Bears. Very important for them to score quickly, and they were able to do just that.
6-play, 63-yard drive capped off by the Wagner 1-yard touchdown run. That is his first touchdown run of the game and his 6th of the season. Extra point is up. It is good by Crowley. And now you have all 3 timeouts. There's only 5:23 to go. You're down 2 touchdowns and a 2-point conversion. Do you consider the onside kick here?
I don't know if it's this. In today's age, with the sort of the rules that they have on kick returns, I half wonder if it's more the pooch ball than the just quick. You know what I mean? You still force difficult ball handling, but you at least get 25 yards out of it as opposed to 10 in the event that you don't convert. That squibbing, bouncing, crazy ball thing at the second level where guys aren't used to fielding it tends to have a little bit better rate than just the straight, hey, I'm going to punch it into a hands team kind of deal.
A final thought on Coach George as he retires. He said the most gratifying aspect of it was so many former players and parents and people he's coached reached out to him this week when he announced he was retiring. He just announced it this week. He said that was the most touching thing.
Such a cool deal. I mean, honestly, this is something that actually Coach Belichick for years is big on us at Thanksgiving. Reach out to the coach that touched you. Reached out to the guy that had a giant impact. Coach George has obviously impacted so many different cadets over the years, 20-plus years here at the Coast Guard. And when it's found out that, hey, he's not going to be here again, yeah, the letters just come pouring in from faculty, from other players, from parents, old people that have just known how much of an impact he's had on this place.
Onside kick is coming. It's a good onside kick. It's bobbled by Jamison, and he does handle it as it goes out. Actually, it goes out of bounds at the 44.
And that ball wouldn't have traveled 10 yards. So that's always just sort of a quirky thing. The onside kick is a pretty low sort of odds proposition. So bobbled, yes. So then once it's touch merchant, it's live. It could have been Coast Guard's kind of deal, but all you got to do there is just even bat it out of bounds. Just there doesn't need to be possession. The other side can't get it.
So now Coast Guard has 3 timeouts left. They're down 15 points with 5:21 to go. And Merchant Marine will look to run as much time off the clock here.
Or will they?
you would think they would try to run as much time off the clock.
One would think, Rob.
Christian Abbott, senior quarterback, playing his final game. Runs over a lineman. A positive gain of about 2.
One of the things you need to see more of, and this is actually, coached much more at the higher level. It's something that, quite frankly, I didn't think much about as a college player, but it needs to be ball awareness here. As a defense, you need to be punching, stripping from behind, raise the elbow, punch below. This is like MMA stuff, like you're basically turning a wrist, grabbing an elbow, pushing, trying to get those 4 points of pressure we talked off. You see this at the professional level. Obviously, I see the Patriots covering them a lot, where guys will come in with a chop and a punch as they grab the elbow. You got to get the football off. Basically, the game is over for you if you don't. So it's cool you got the tackle. At this point, you don't talk old football fundamentals. Secure the tackle first before you get the ball. You really have to tackle the football at this point of the game is over for you.
Do you feel like that sort of philosophy has led to some of the poor tackling we've seen?
Yes, it has. Okay. All the focus on turnover differential and the defense that makes the most of those kinds of plays.
Some of the tackling is just horrifying.
Yeah, but part of it too is what we're talking about here is situational. You need to do that. If you're doing that in the first quarter, that's not good football. But I think at this juncture, hey, I made a really big hit and tackled him. Buddy, kept the ball. We need the ball. That can't be the focus. And you really have to test the other side. Are they smart enough to put it away? Are they still spinning? And you have a spinning quarterback here in Abbott. We've seen him do it quite a bit. But you come out of the spin, you pop in with a punch, you get that elbow up, or you strip or chop from the backside. You get the ball off him. Getting the ball off him is the goal now, not tackles.
And if you're on offense here, don't fight for that extra yardage. Just go down.
Don't need it. Don't need it.
The yardage is not as important as hanging on to the ball. It's a pitch for Reese. And he will stay in bounds. No, he'll go out of bounds, but he does pick up positive yardage to the 35.
That was nice.
Third and a yard, and they will wind the clock here.
You'll raise your voice. Did he stay in bounds? I don't know. I was thinking the exact same thing. And part of this is really sort of a test of smart football for both sides.
Another timeout for Coast Guard, their second. Tommaso Jamie has been tremendous, and it does raise the question where he didn't really even play in the first half because it was all Moffitt. But Jamie has made his impact known here in the second half.
Secret weapon, maybe a secret even kept from the Bears staff in the first half. But man, he's been a big play guy for them, and in part maybe some of the attention shifts over to Moffitt, and all of a sudden Jamie busts out and starts making plays. But big day, big half, excuse me, of football for Tommaso Jamie.
A sophomore from Lake Como, New Jersey, has 10 career touchdowns, including 7 this year. He'll be one of their primary weapons next season. Moffitt also returns next season. He'll be a senior, but they will have to have a new quarterback, as the quarterback, Ryan Jones, Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania native, is a senior. He did, incidentally, Jones, move into second all-time at the school passing yards today. He's into second now. He's a little bit too far behind to catch first. Actually, he's about 3,000 yards away from the first all-time leading passer, who was the very appropriately named Derek Victory. Early, running hard over the right side, has a first down. That'll keep the clock rolling. Although Coast Guard can, whenever this play finally ends, could be the rest of the, finally, there we go. Stops the clock at the 29-yard line.
22 men on the field. I believe 18 were involved in that tackle.
So one timeout left now for Coast Guard with under 5 minutes to go. The yardage has been pretty even, about 450 yards for Merchant Marine, 375 or so for Coast Guard.
It's a big day offensively for Coast Guard. This is not their norm.
But a couple of those key plays, the pick six, that's an unaccounted for play. The kickoff return, now mind you, Coast Guard had a long punt return.
As well, yes.
But a kickoff return when the game got close, took it all the way in for a score, made it back to a 2-score game.
Ultimately, they'll feel sick about the pick six. You'll feel sick about the fumbles on the kickoff.
Yep.
Things like that. The little moments you can't have if you want to win yourself the cup.
Abbott takes a hit there from Colby Coco, the safety, as they'll call their last timeout with 4:06 left to go. This is a terrific Division III football rivalry. We remind you that the road to the 2019 D3 Football Championship begins tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Eastern with the selection show on NCAA.com. 32 teams will be selected to compete in this year's playoffs, which start next Saturday. It all concludes with the 47th Amos Alonzo Stagg Bowl on Saturday, December the 20th. That game will be played at Wood Forest Stadium in Shenandoah, Texas, before it moves to the Hall of Fame Stadium, Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium in Canton, Ohio next year. 32 teams. I love the college football playoff. It's only 4 teams. I mean, this is, when you get down to the FCS D2, D3 level, you're talking a lot of teams have a chance to win their way to the title.
Talking like March Madness in November. This is, I dig this stuff. And quite frankly, neither of these two teams are going to go forward in this tournament, but you'll be hard-pressed to find a playoff atmosphere better than this.
Yep.
This really was that for the D3 level. Granted, neither of these teams are moving on. This game means a ton to these two academies, but this is a great, really great environment here for the Division III level. This is a cool spot, and Merchant Marine really did step up today.
Coach George said, and he said, we're not playing for national titles here. This game is our title game, our Super Bowl. It's a handoff for Early, and he's spun down, and now the clock will run as he's brought down to the 21-yard line. Under 4 minutes to go.
We haven't seen senior Joe Vitelli have the ball in his hands much late, and obviously they're just looking to close this thing out at this point, consume as much clock as they can. But man, that young man has done so much for Kings Point. It'd be interesting to see if he can get one last touch here one last way to maybe impact the game and push the score over 100. We didn't come in here today expecting that, but there's a 100-burger on the board potentially.
26-12 was the final last year. This is a pitch for Reese. Gets a good block at the edge and then somersaults forward to the 17. It is a first down, and that should run it all the way down to under a minute and a half to go probably on this possession at a minimum. And one more first down could potentially end the game. Officially. 3 minutes left to go here. Down to 10 on the play clock. Abbott has been masterful this season. He'll take another snap on 1st and 10. It's a handoff, straight handoff for Reese. And he stumbles his way forward to the 10.
And Reese, a senior, no surprise there. Again, this is it. This is the end game here right now for a lot of these guys. Christian Abbott, a senior. James Early, a senior at the fullback position. Tyler Reese, as you just mentioned, a senior. A lot of the, Joe Vitelli, who we've been talking about throughout the day, a senior. Offensive line, left guard, Anthony Pravada, a senior. A lot of these guys, right guard, Ryan Prism. Oh my goodness, I got that name. I was very excited about that. But this is a cool situation for these guys. You feel the end game here coming to this, and it's gone your way. All these guys getting touches down the stretch.
Reese hit hard after a short gain, and on one hand, you're thrilled that you closed out your career with the victory, but there's also, I'm sure, sadness. These kids have been playing football growing up, played in high school.
For sure.
And this is it.
John Coughlin at the right tackle position is a senior. With Jamison in the wide receiver spot as a senior. Christian Abbott, as we mentioned. Basically, this offense for USMMA is loaded with veteran players, and this is obviously a very cool moment for them. And oddly enough, before we go into next year's Secretary's Cup, it's been back and forth, back and forth. We've been at 3 games in a row where the road team has gone on the road and brought the cup home.
Vitelli, a 4-year player for Merchant Marine, goes over 2,000 receiving yards in his career here today. And that was a first down, and that should lead to a series of kneel downs, or as they're going to get some reserves into the game. Looks like particularly along the offensive line. And Merchant Marine has a minute to go before they reclaim that Secretary's Cup. Mike Toop knows the game is in hand now. They're going to take a couple of knees.
Are they? Yeah, they are. Okay.
And they
I'm not sure. I'm just like, how bad is the blood here? But no.
Dubriel, who's a linebacker, is the deep back in this formation.
Yeah.
He's a senior. They want him to be out there on the game's final snap, which they will have to take one more snap.
Pretty cool moment. I've been on the good side and bad side of these kind of rivalry games where you start to feel it sort of soaking down upon you, especially if you're a Bear for a Coast Guard. You know, you looked up to this game all year. Now you got to sit and eat this thing for another 12 months before you get an opportunity to make good. But big Secretary's Cup win here for Merchant Marine. The Mariners come away with a victory here in New London. In
a game full of big plays, it was Merchant Marine that made just a couple of more. And the final score, Merchant Marine wins it 56-41. Mike Toop gets the cold water bath, and the Cadets are running onto the field. The Mariners win the game. On the other hand, Bill George coaches his final game for the Coast Guard. Comes out on the short end of this one, 56-41 the final. The teams will shake hands at midfield again. Rivals, fierce rivals for 3 hours on a Saturday in mid-November. Teammates going forward as part of the United States military.
Yeah, brothers in arms from this point forward, hate each other for a few hours, but I think the respect here is mutual all up and down both of these rosters. We saw it chippy during the game, and I was kind of watching for that because it got a little chippy at certain spots, never devolved into the fight stuff. But now you see a lot of these guys sort of chit-chatting off to the side. And having a good word now. I mean, these guys both know, really both these rosters, they live a different life than most of the other college kids around the country playing football. You know the people out here, the toughness that they have, the commitment, the dedication to do this kind of thing. It's just next level. So it sucks if you're a Bear that you lost. It's awesome if you're a Mariner that you won. But both of these guys, really both of these groups of men, young men, they're going to go on to do some awesome things in their life. It was fun to watch them just come out here and compete.
We're going to interview Joe Vitelli here in just a few moments as he finishes his 4-year career here at Merchant Marine Academy. We're now joined by senior wide receiver Joe Vitelli. Joe, Robert Lee and Matt Chatham with ESPN. Congratulations on the victory. Take us through the emotions, what's going through your mind right now, and take us especially back to that big kickoff return that really turned the tide of the game.
I'm at a loss for words, man. This was a hell of a season, hell of a team. It's one way to go out on top, and I've been waiting for that kickoff return for 4 years, so it's awesome. I get to do it on the biggest stage of my career and the last game of my career, so I got to put it out there for the kickoff return team. Have been on my side through 4 years, and all their blocks made me spring one this year.
A couple years ago, Joe, you broke one of the same Secretary's Cup game. Can you talk a little bit about sort of the stuff in the cracks? You guys finding offense, finding other ways to get yourself up on the board here.
Yeah, like I said, we did take one back 2 years ago, but this one we ended up getting it back there. But offensively, we just came out ground and pound, triple option to its finest. Give everybody up front a hell of a game, and it's awesome. Can't believe this happened.
Joe, you mentioned this is your last game. You've been a 4-year player for this program, for this team. What emotions are going inside of you right now, knowing that this is probably going to be the last football game in your career you ever play?
I got no regrets. This 4 years has been a blessing, and I give it up to my coaches, my teammates for every game I played in. I've been blessed to stay healthy for every 4 years, so I'm just blessed. I'm at a loss for words right now.
Joe, congratulations on the win. Great career, and go celebrate with your teammates.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Joe Vitelli, a senior wide receiver who finishes his career with over 2,000 receiving yards. He had the pivotal kickoff return in this game when the game had gotten close. He took it back to extend it back to a 2-score lead as these schools celebrating the alma mater right now. Head coach Mike Toop and the Merchant Marine Mariners in this Division III version of the Army-Navy game, these two service academies. staged a terrific game, and what a special environment and special pageantry before, during, and after this one.
This is cool, man. This is an awesome experience for the players, but it's a pretty cool experience for us and our crew as well. You don't see anything else like this around the country. This is awesome.
They will present the Secretary's Cup to the victorious Mariners.
Will now present the cup to Rear Admiral Mark Busby, Administrator of the U.S. Maritime Administration. He is joined by Academy Superintendent Rear Admiral Jack Buono, Director of Athletics Chris Schnatz, and Head Coach Mike Toop.
Coach Toop will let his players celebrate here. After a 56-41 high-scoring victory over arch rival Coast Guard Academy. As we are now joined by the victorious head coach, Mike Toop, of the Merchant Marine Academy, Coach Robert Lee, Matt Chatham with ESPN with you here. So much scoring in this game, so many big plays. What did your team do to come away with the victory?
Well, you know, we were able to possess the ball offensively and get some points, and, you know, the pick six was big. But, you know, I got to take a moment to congratulate Coach George. Class act. I mean, obviously the toughest opponent we ever played, but for 21 years at a place like this, I mean, I think it speaks volumes. And the way his team played today, my hats go off to Coast Guard.
Such a tremendous environment here, Coach. A really cool event here today. But you had a lot of seniors on your offense who go away into the amazing careers they'll have from this point forward. Can you talk about some of those guys? You guys are really loaded with veteran players there on your offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, I think, and it showed up front. You know, across the board, you got, you know, Coughlin 7'4", Crism 5'8", Weiss 6'8", Pravada 7'3", and then you've got Early at fullback, you've got Vitelli and Jameson at wideout, and you've got Abbott at quarterback. And that obviously, I think, you know, just that kind of knowing it's their last game, the poise they had, and just the, you know, the will to win paid off.
Coach, can you tell us about the emotions of picking up that Secretary's Cup, giving it to your players, to your seniors, all that you've worked for all season culminating here?
Yeah, it's, you know, it's Army-Navy, smaller guys, smaller venues, but it means as much to our, you know, Coast Guard and the Merchant Marine Academy does Army-Navy. I'll guarantee you that. And having played in the game, I know exactly what it feels like. And it's, you know, we had a suck on it last year, losing at home, but we made enough plays today to get it back.
Coach, congratulations on the win. Best of luck this offseason. We look forward to seeing you again next year.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot, guys.
Mike Toop, the head coach of the Merchant Marine Academy. Terrific day here in New London. An exciting game and a lot of big plays, and ultimately a victory for the visitors. For Matt Chatham, my name is Robert Lee, saying so long from Cadet Memorial Field in New London, Connecticut. The final score, Merchant Marine 56 and Coast Guard 41. We remind you that all games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN. So long from New London, Connecticut.